Mayo special. Cinco de Mayo special. Here, our honorable guest, Heather Kaminsky. And she is the person that make all this possible.
Dreams come true, Heather.
Yes,
Dreams
Heather
come true.
is here because she put out together this beautiful, beautiful party with City Furniture. So, shout out to City Furniture, real producers.
Shout out to City Furniture. This would not be possible without City Furniture.
This might be
a little bit
the
closer.
place of places to be on Cinco de Mayo. I'm going to tell you right now.
This is the place for realtors to be on Cinco de Mayo, for sure.
Beautiful.
And anyone that wants to be around them.
Okay, guys, so if you don't know, Heather Kaminsky has this beautiful magazine here. She represents a real producer magazine in Broward County. So if you're a realtor or if you want to get in contact with realtors, she is the right person to look after, right? So,
exactly.
And that's amazing. So here we are, this special Cinco de Mayo.
Our annual Cinco de Mayo party. This is our third anniversary.
Is this the biggest event that you put together?
This is the biggest event, but I couldn't do it without City Furniture. They really do everything. I have to give them, but really, it's also the event group.
Augusto,
Joel is
are your
amazing.
cameras catching what I'm seeing right now? Because the setup here is ridiculous.
Yeah, we have.
I know we had 200 plus RSVPs.
This is somebody's backyard.
This is Darren's backyard.
I mean, come on.
Isn't that insane?
Insane.
That's super
crazy.
Cool.
And by the way, nothing is in here. When you come before, you guys were here.
I was in the setup.
I might actually buy some of the lawn furniture after before
you and I both. Actually, no, I don't even have somewhere to put that right now, so no. I'm glad I didn't buy it before.
So tell me, how are you right now? Are you stressed? Are you relieved? What we are feeling now,
I
Heather?
love these type of events.
Yes.
Events, this is where I shine. This is what I have fun.
Yeah.
This is what I love doing. I love putting people together. And if I can see people smiling, then I did my job.
I mean, this is a sea of just power players, like top producers.
Yep, that's what it's supposed to be.
And top sponsors.
Definitely top sponsors. And that's what's great is this one is all sponsored by City Furniture.
Yeah.
We have other sponsors that get to come to this one and just have fun.
That's great.
So we don't, we don't ask for sponsorship.
A little combination action.
Yeah.
I like that.
It's great.
Like
so they get to come and just enjoy and get to meet everybody and really get their Cinco de Drinko on.
I love it. I love it.
Jay, this is our special Cinco de Mayo. You know what I mean? Cinco de Mayo? Hopefully you're going to know how to answer this question. Do you know or not?
The 5th of May?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's kind of a trick question.
No, it isn't. I will tell you how many people said, when is the date? When is the party? And I'm like,
guys,
are you kidding me?
If you don't know what Cinco de Mayo means, I will keep a little secret because I will be asking some of our, not Heather, because I'm not going to put her in this position.
Oh my God, you mean the 5th of May? Actually, I can tell you all about it. I don't know if you knew that.
Tell.
It's
okay,
actually,
that's cool.
It's the Mexican holiday, but really they don't really celebrate it. It's really the U.S. that has made it big, but it was when Mexico beat, I hate to say that, but triumphed over France.
Oh, that's great.
Is that right?
Oh my God.
And actually want to know how I learned that? You really want to know how I learned that? Alicia Levitan. That's
nice
right
job.
there.
Nice job.
She posted it today, and I really
cool.
and I remembered it.
It's a Jeopardy moment.
Yeah, going a little bit about the background of Cinco de Mayo. This is a little bit, the idea of David against Goliath, right? Because France by that time have the big military force, and this is small city of Puebla.
Yeah.
They won against.
But I would never put anything against those.
They never
offense, but
they never taught this in school, so I didn't know the story.
French compared to Mexicans,
I know that Jay loved drinks and
you put the last.
I just thought it was like a cocktail or something like that. There's actually history here. I didn't know that.
Cinco de Mayo for Jay's is the tequilas and the margaritas.
Hey, you know what? It brings people together.
All right. That's
why it's the theme of our podcast today is what is triumphing for you and what was your biggest success in your career, right? Whenever you could overcome this huge force and you could make something great. And I would love to see a little bit about your story.
This is one of them today.
This is a big one. This is a feat.
Landing these guys as a sponsor was fabulous, and I got really lucky because they're an amazing partner.
So it took what? It took 5 days to set this up? 3 days to set this up?
This one was 3 days. This
3 days to set this party up.
We've done it in a day before.
That's amazing.
But yeah, no, it's really, though, it is the event group. Joel Flanagan, I cannot do it without him, and Joel isn't here, but he will be here.
Shout out to Joel.
Shout out to Joel. I mean, the event group, I can't. I mean, They're amazing.
Yeah, so not everyone, guys, know how to put a party together.
And these guys know how to put parties. And if I tell you the celebrities they put parties on for, you'd be all, let's just say all the top athletes you know.
Oh my God, that's amazing.
All the ones that live in Florida that are top.
That's super cool, Heather. Do you wanna shout out for someone? Do you wanna bring someone here in mind?
Honestly, I mean, I want to shout out to everybody who the whole community has come around me as a whole recently, and even more so than ever. And I'm very lucky to have this community that was built. And I want to say thank you to everyone, and especially to Catherine and Karen Johnson recently, because they did start the GoFundMe for me when I lost my home in the flood.
I saw that.
So
we supported.
I know you did, and I really appreciate it. But they need to shout out, because that was just very kind of them to do, and they just did it from the bottom of their heart.
It's close to home, and when I saw what you did, I mean, not only you, but everybody in your street.
Everyone in my street. And it's really weird, because I sit there and I do a lot for whenever there's hurricanes or whatever. You see me. I'm always giving back to the community. It's something I love to do. So when it actually hits you, you have no idea how hard it is. I'm very good at giving, very hard at taking.
Yeah,
I completely imagine, because I was in Fort Myers when it happened. Yeah. We created a caravan to help them. And it's super challenging for someone to live this. That we lose everything, right? So
it is. It's devastating.
Well, I think the silver line, though, to your point, is the inspiration of everybody coming together and supporting, which is awesome.
And look at what we're doing. And ready?
And who else is awesome here? Who would you like to give a shout out to?
The best of them all.
Who's the best? Who's the best right here?
Andrew from City Furniture, without a doubt.
The man.
I mean, he is the man. I couldn't do this without him.
We're going to invite our new guest right here.
I'm going to let him come and take my spot.
Andrew, thank you, Heather, very much,
Heather,
guys.
We love you. We love you.
Thank you.
If you want to search about her, it's Heather Kaminsky, Real Producers online, and you're going to find her, right?
Instagram is Broward
Real Producers on Facebook or Instagram.
Broward Real Producers.
Or Heather the Connector on Instagram.
That's your new one.
That's great. That's great. So here,
we're so gracious
let's launch this.
What's up, fellas?
Yeah, buddy.
You know who we have right now? It's Andrew Koenig from City Furniture, that guy.
Man, we appreciate you.
Buddy, we are very, very honored to have you here.
Thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
And it's very, very beautiful how you support the community and how you support the realtors. Tell me a little bit more about this event.
So City Furniture really isn't what it is without realtors, without the housing industry, so we got to support all those that are helping grow our community, and we're here to help furnish it, make it beautiful, serve those clients for the realtors, and we have some cool other services like a moving business, a staging business for the realtors. So
I think that's really interesting. Yeah.
Our goal is just to have a good ecosystem in the housing industry, to support wherever we can add value, and just offer a great customer experience.
How long has the family business been in effect?
So we're 52 years old.
52 years. Yeah. It's amazing.
I'm second generation, and beyond blessed. My dad, my uncle just did a phenomenal job building a great family business.
When you decided to sort of look at this business and in your mind, like the vision of taking it to the next level, like what direction did you want to add sort of your stamp on it? I think that's what's really interesting, because you're a young guy, and you got a lot of years ahead of you. And what was where you sort of said, this is where I want to go with the business? Yeah.
So first off, I fell in love with the industry growing up. The home furnishings industry is just amazing. It's our home. Like, who doesn't love that? So it's an honor to be able to be in this industry. And to be honest, when I was younger, I saw the opportunity where, City could really grow and provide a lot of great product, great value, great service, and be a really big impact on the industry. But what also was exciting for me was to build a great business and a great culture and have a lot of fun along the way. My mom, she passed away almost 8 years ago, cancer, but she made us celebrate and have fun and just this phenomenal family vibe. She helped my dad build a really fun business. So where I want to see us, I want to see us continue to grow, continue to serve, but also like be that one company out there that you're like, they're fun, they're cool, they're good people.
Exactly. And I've been here for almost about 20 years, and I think that you just hit the nail on the head. That's probably the thing that I saw the best evolutionary change of your whole entire dynamic of the business, is that now it feels tangible. People actually can feel like they can relate to City Furniture in a way that now you're part of the community.
Trying, man, every day. Like, this party is all about that. Like, look right behind us.
It's insane.
Like, we don't have to do this. We could spend money on Google or whatever. No, we want to get to know the realtors that are killing it.
Yeah.
And the different businesses that are associated with this industry, and how can we serve them? How can they get to know us, touch and feel, be friends, hug? You know, here's my cell phone number. How can I add value to? You know, I just told multiple people back there, like, tell me how can I improve? What do I need to do to get better? You're talking to the customer before they even get to me. What comes to mind? Like, and so yeah, I really appreciate that, because it's a touch and feel business, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And that's how you really have great relationships.
Andrew, what do you think? What comes to your mind with this special event that you're doing right now? Putting together Cinco de Mayo.
Yeah.
Cinco de Mayo is this battle, right? This overcome a little bit huge challenge. What it mean for you, and what it mean for your family? Because you were mentioned about a family business, like something that's growing into the community. What was the most successful event that you can mention to us?
A turning event, I guess. It's probably a turning event. Turning point, yeah.
Well, it's kind of really relates to this event too. This event started 3 years ago. COVID started, 3 years ago. So that was our biggest, most challenging, event in our company's history. And for me as a younger CEO, to be able to, forecast sales, like I think we're going to be down 85% in business next month, and I have 3,000 people that work for us. What are we going to do?
Right.
And we just battled through. I mean, we were selling online sales, appointments, 24 hours chat. I mean, the craziest stuff we were doing to just keep our top line as high as possible. And then obviously when people were home, the home meant more. And then all of a sudden, just a flood of business just blew up our business. And, we grew almost 20% in the year of 2020, which was like the scariest time of my life, but also the most rewarding, because our city family just crushed it. And I really give credit to my dad and the culture he built prior to that, because we were all family. We're like, we're going to figure this out. We're going to get through this. Like most families in America, we're like, hey, we're going to figure this out. So that was our biggest challenge, and we're proud to be here.
I'm assuming it's like you just said, you go through a major downturn, but then that could almost just be as scary as this major upside as well too, because you have so many things now popping that it's how do you control it? How do you really
You're absolutely right. So the following year, our business almost grew 50%, and the amount of customers that were coming at us, and not gonna lie, it was our toughest customer satisfaction year ever. Right. Usually pre-pandemic, we're 96%. During the pandemic, we're around 88, 90%. 1 out of 10 customers not happy though is not cool. Like that is that's tough. I'm getting emails, phone calls, social media, posts every day. Yeah. And we're doing the best we can to handle the volume that we had coming at us. But we had so many people moving here, so many people demanding product. So it was an amazing pendulum shift in demand. But we powered through. We did the best we can. We lived our values, and we're here today, and we're just blessed and thankful to be in this industry where we're at, and here at this awesome party.
That's awesome.
That's really good. And then I would like just to know a little bit who you can remember in this day that you want to shout out. Someone that you think it was important in your story and you want to celebrate today as well.
That's a great question. That's a great question.
I'll celebrate my wife.
That's great.
Yeah, she's my rock, and I don't think our significant others that watch us go through these tough times. I mean, she's here with me at this party. She's here at every freaking event.
I see you guys out all the time together, and it takes a strong partner.
100%. I'd be a psychopath without her. So, we're a great team.
Awesome.
Okay, so tell us a little bit to this beautiful audience. How can we find you? How can you find this beautiful furniture that you sell?
So you can go to cityfurniture.com. We got about 35 locations in South and Central Florida. And by the way, we also have a few new services I'll plug.
Yeah.
We got a free design service, amazing designers. We have staging for our realtors. We have a moving service for our customers. All of that really hit another gear during COVID these last 3 years, and really listening to this community of what value can we provide. So, but we're here to serve, and come check us out.
So guys, do not buy from Amazon. Let's support the family business, right?
Guys? Local business. Buy local
business.
Thank
people
you.
that support the community. People that put together networking events, help each other, and that's a new way to do the American life.
Well said. Andy, thanks so much. I appreciate you stopping in on us, and once again, City Furniture, guys.
Thank you, guys.
Cityfurniture.com.
Yes.
You can find them. Thank you, Andrew. Thank you so much.
Appreciate you.
All right.
All right. Andrew,
Fantastic.
Now we're gonna have Dana, right? Dana,
Flanagan.
Okay. Oh my gosh, I need to improve a little bit my English.
We're working on phonics. Phonics is not English, it's just phonics.
Dana. Dana, not Dana.
So Dana is my super weapon. That's what I call her. She's my super weapon.
Flanagan here with us in the
I love it.
Real Stuff Show.
So let me tell you something a little bit about Dana. Maybe a little background about Dana. What we have right now happening is a migration of people that are coming from not only buyers and sellers looking to migrate back and forth from the Northeast, but we have superstar real estate agents like Dana Flanagan coming down here, and she's poaching amazing deals because she is the real deal.
Of course, and see how beautiful she is doing selfie like this. Dana, we're gonna tag us, okay? Tag our show.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me.
So Dana, the real stuff. Well, you don't want any BS. We don't want any fluff. What we want is a real juicy story about what inspires you. You know, as Augusto has been telling people, Cinco de Mayo is more than just a party, right? It's about overcoming like adversity. What has been in your 20 years of real estate, right?
That's correct.
What has been your overcoming adversity for your business?
Oh, wow. Gosh, I've been through every market. I'm licensed in multiple states, so I would say my biggest challenge has actually been coming down to Florida. I come from Connecticut. I was a top agent selling over 100 homes a year. I still do business there. I still do this, maybe not the same amount of business, but shifting down to Florida, it's, for lack of a better word for me, it was like the wild, wild west. Right. It is just loaded with agents from all walks of life, from all different parts of the world and country, and
do you have a lot of diversity in Connecticut versus down here in South Miami?
Not like this, no, not like this. It's much more stable. I feel like you have the same type of clientele, steady through and through. Here, it's you've got people that can't qualify for a mortgage on one end, and then you've got cash buyers dropping $10 million. So it's definitely very diverse, instead of just the your typical family with the two kids and they're both teachers and they're buying a $500,000 house in Connecticut.
So probably adaptation, right? Adaptation was something important for you coming down here. You have to completely rethink your business.
I love that word.
And try to, approach it in different ways, because here is completely different than you had before, right?
So what have you done to take yourself out of the cookie cutter box to adapt to a new real estate market? What is something that you do that other agents here might not have access to?
Yeah, so I still maintain my business in Connecticut. Unlike a lot of agents up north that get their license in real estate in Florida, quote unquote, and they maybe come down as a snowbird or they come down for vacation and feel like it might be a good idea. I literally go back and forth every week.
Okay.
I go back and forth every week or every 2 weeks. So I'm 2 weeks in Florida, a week in Connecticut, back and forth. And
anything marketing that you do that's unique?
Yeah, so I host a South Florida real estate show called American Dream.
Oh, we have a celebrity in front of us
so
right
I have a
here.
TV, media, and production background as well. I host and produce 4 TV shows, American Dream being one of them. The other ones are all self-produced and women hosted and produced.
Okay.
And we're national. We're on the Travel Channel and WeTV and a bunch of other outlets. So I have 2 real estate shows. One is called Places and Spaces in New England. One is the American Dream in South Florida.
Speak a little bit closer to the microphone, please.
And then I also host and produce a women's travel show and then a women's ski travel show. So I have a lot of media content background where I'm not afraid in front of the camera. Very good with social media. I meet a lot of people in my job.
And valuable content right now is the king, right? And the queen. To capture people, you have to create a content that will potentially help people, correct? You have a little bit of this approach as well?
Absolutely, yeah. So whenever I meet somebody, I always try to find out their story, find out a way we can connect, and find out a way that I can bring value to their business or to their life, and in turn, ask them if there's anything I can help them with. So that's been invaluable to me because I have made contacts all over the country and all over the world that have helped me elevate my business and elevate my life. So it's not always just about working, right? So sometimes when you're just having fun and you're authentic and
trying to help people, business comes to you.
Okay, so there's probably a lot of naysayers out there. They're like, oh God, yeah. Let me do a podcast, see what it does. Let me do a little movie thing. Let me see what it does. Tell everybody out there right now. Give me a really juicy opportunity that came to you from your networking through your media sources to inspire people that maybe try to go out there and do that as well too. What's a good deal that you might have gotten?
Well, I've gotten quite a few. I've met some really great celebrities that have been really genuine and just genuinely like me and want to work with me. I'm not really impressed by like the flash. Right. I'm impressed by people, and when people are more humble to me, it's actually more attractive to me to want to work with them than if they're just kind of flashy. You see a lot of that in South Florida. So, any good listings or sales that came from like your network through this? Like, give yourself a little plug. It's okay. Yeah. So I started working for some family offices, private equity firms, investment firms, and people that raise capital. Those people are extremely connected. I started working for them as a global real estate advisor. Perfect. So I decided, you know what? I think I have something here. I'm going to pursue these type of businesses around the country. So I work for quite a few families. I can't say who they are, but one of them used to work for the Rockefellers, and they've connected me to developers and people that need my expertise. And it's not even in an area that I may be super knowledgeable of, but then I go there, I find out the area, I immerse myself in the area, and all of a sudden, I feel like I know more about it than most people because I take so much time to study it. Right. So it's all about educating yourself and taking the time to get to know people, learning their story, and really just getting involved. And that's what I did when I came to South Florida. I joined everything immediately. Right. I reached out on Facebook and said, who wants to meet me? Top producer coming from Connecticut. Would love to return business to people like attorneys and that sort of thing. And everybody was blowing up my phone. Yeah, we have a description that says, "Don't be a secret agent." Yes. Don't be a secret. And you're a great definition of that. You're the secret weapon. You're not the secret agent. Exactly. Which I love it. That's awesome. Augusto, anything else for Dano?
No, Dana. Do you have someone that you want to celebrate today? Is there anyone that you would like to remember today in this beautiful Cinco de Mayo?
Well, I have a lot of people that I would like to thank for, their support through my career. I actually would like to give a shout out to my fiance, Mark, because he has been super, super supportive. I travel a lot. He's in the mortgage industry, and it has not been easy the last few years. He quit his job during COVID in the medical field for various reasons. And, we're kind of navigating this back and forth, Florida, Connecticut, global real estate life together. And, with the interest rates the way they are right now, with the market the way it is, with houses going, in multiple offers with, 25, 30 showings or offers, I should say. And, buyers not getting them one after another after another.
And he travels a lot with you, right?
He does, but then he's also home a lot working because he needs to be at a computer for his job.
We've heard that before too. Having a strong person behind you sometimes really kind of makes you motivated to go forward a little bit further too, which is great. So
yeah, and I don't mind it. It's great. We definitely support each other, and awesome. I love the travel and I love the business.
Well, Mark, you got a big fan here, so and we appreciate all the love that you're giving to our group as well too. So thank you so much.
And I have to say thank you to Jay too, because we worked together in South Florida on the real estate team, and
we love you.
And he's been great. So
you're amazing.
Then how can we find you? Tell us.
You can find me on Instagram at Dana Flanagan Official. Dana Flanagan on Facebook and LinkedIn. And
what brokerage are you with?
I'm with Sotheby's.
Cool.
Everywhere. And the curated collection group at Sotheby's in South Florida.
There it is. Nice job.
Yes. Thank you guys so much for having me.
Thank you so much, Dana.
Thank you.
Chad, thank you for joining us, buddy. Make sure that you talk really close because we got a lot of background noise here too.
You have to talk very close, Chad, and speak out loud as well because we have a lot of noise here. Beautiful music.
So Chad, Scalf, right? Tell us a little bit about yourself, Chad. So this event,
man, how do you speak your name? Scalf?
That's it.
That is
Chad Scalf. Okay, guys, we have Chad Scalf here. I'm still improving my English. My accent sometimes not very good. But anyways,
Chad's a local boy too, right?
I am.
You are. You've been around for a while.
42 years.
42 years.
East Fort Lauderdale.
That is. He is true East Fort Lauderdale, Augusto. This is.
Chad, put up a little bit your glass. He has some eyes that he is really enjoying this party.
They're glazed. They're glazed eyes. That's why.
He's enjoying. Guys, if you don't know, it's a beautiful party.
I grew up here.
He is true Fort Lauderdale.
That's cool, man. So here today is Cinco de Mayo special, right?
Yeah.
So we discussed a little bit, Cinco de Mayo, this huge battle that happens in Mexico. And we are talking about success, challenging, and how to overcome adversity, Tell us a little story about you when you starting your business or, something that you think it was a huge and you say, oh my gosh, how am I going to overcome this?
A defining moment, Chad, in your life. What was it, buddy?
A turning point, a breakthrough event.
It's learning that you compound.
Speak a little bit more.
You compound the successes. I mean, it's that simple. I mean, you fail quickly, and you compound what you can, right? And so I'd rather go deep than shallow. So you find what you're good at it, and you just stick to it.
Were you always a real estate agent, Chad, or where did you find your trade, your craft from?
I owned an advertising marketing company.
Oh my gosh.
That's cool.
For a long time.
That's great.
That's interesting, yeah.
Okay, so
We might need your services.
Probably he can use us as a way to reach more realtors as well.
It doesn't work in real estate. We could use you.
Guys, if you have an advertising company and if you want to partnership with their real stuff show, call us right now.
So Chad, one of the things that we find when we're talking to people is that they tend to use something from their past to enhance their current career. So what is it maybe that you pulled from your past career to today that's making you better?
Well, it's three things. Pretty simple. It's like I was a business owner, so I understand math, right?
Yes.
It's a big deal. Numbers don't scare me.
Okay.
And then secondly, I mean, I'm an extrovert.
Chad, I will ask you to speak a little bit closer to the microphone, man.
And you're 1 degree of separation from anywhere in Fort Lauderdale.
That's true.
So I've got a Rolodex that's insane.
You're a character too. You're a likable guy.
And so
I try not to like Chad, but he's a likable guy.
Oh my gosh, I never met him. Okay, this is a party out there. We can stop to drink and talk and do all the crazy stuff here today. There's no problem.
Cheers. Thank you. Oh, that's yours.
That's your
wine. That's your wine. Thank you.
And in real estate, really the only thing as a realtor can control is the marketing.
That's true. Oh! I heard something there. That's interesting.
So
say that one more time.
The only element of real estate that a realtor can control is the marketing.
That's a pearl of wisdom right there, buddy. That's a pearl of wisdom.
But he got already two different golden nuggets. One was you go shallow, you know what you're good with, and then you go deep. And now he's coming with this.
That's big.
Oh my gosh, we have to invite you for a deep.
You're gonna get the real stuff.
A deep interview in our podcast on Thursdays, right?
That's exactly. Thursday
Have to come back, man.
Thursday 3.
With all this golden, we're gonna create a training for new realtors.
So you have a lot of agents here. Yeah. But how do you tap into your history here? You've been here so long. What makes that an asset to your business?
It's actually a huge asset. Because
do not blow the microphone, Jay. I know that you are drinking a lot.
I don't know if that was me.
No, don't put too much too high.
There we go. That's better. Yeah. I'm gonna cover it down here.
It's not one person who gets a deal done. It's a team.
Yeah.
So if you've got the right vendor for this, right? So it could be the right stager. It could be the right general contractor.
And sometimes the right painter,
it's
right?
It's knowing who to call, right? If you need the seawall repaired.
Yeah.
And guess what? I probably went to high school with them, right? Yeah. And so, or our kids go to school together, or it's having that Rolodex of the people that you can tap into to get the deal done. Yeah. It could be the finance guy. It could be the wealth management guy. It could be the attorney if you're dealing with certain aspects.
So what you're saying is, for especially like the younger agents that are coming into the business right now, is the network is so important to what our success rate is.
Oh, certainly. Yeah. And people want to do business with the people they like.
Right.
So if they're in your sphere of influence, that's always going to be your biggest source of income or your biggest source of clientele.
Yeah. And then be valuable source as well to the client, right? Because sometimes some realtors, they only want to do real estate. They don't want to solve a problem. And when you have the Rolodex of the contractor and the people, right?
That's all we do is solve problems.
Yeah.
It's
not transactional. It's not transactional. No. Yeah.
there's always a hurdle. There's always a bump. It's, you're dealing with psychology, emotions, and everything. And so how do you get over that?
So one of the questions we'd like to find out is what's like one of your biggest motivators? Is it a person? Is it a book? Is it some sort of piece or article or something out there? What do you like rely on to kind of keep you motivated, keep your spirits up, to kind of go out there and challenge this very dynamic industry of real estate?
It's not necessarily. I don't think it's motivation is never an issue for me. It's more of the consistency of not letting the highs get too high, and then not letting the lows beat you up. Because you could today you could execute 4 deals and then all of a sudden there's nothing, or all of a sudden everything just seems to go to crap.
In this market, that happens a lot.
And so you can't let those things beat you up. And so I think in that sense, as I said, I don't think motivation is an issue. It never has been. I don't need a rah-rah. I don't need the cheerleading squad. I know what I want, and I just go after that.
Self-structure.
A notion of knowledge, this guy. He learned some of this with the Dalai Lama, probably, right?
Well, hey, you're always a student, though, right?
Yes.
And if you're not, then...
No, I'm telling you, because I'm a yoga teacher too. So this is something that we do through meditation. I don't know if you do any meditation, but so it's not getting the high so high, so to get super excited, and then go the low that's going to beat you up. I think it's beautiful.
Hey, and the beauty of living in Fort Lauderdale, we have 165 miles of waterway, and water is so good for the soul. It's
escape.
Oh yeah.
So guys, if you're watching this episode from other parts of the United States and you want to move here, this is the right place, right, Chad?
Oh yeah.
And you can find those guys.
We all make choices.
I appreciate your wisdom, Chad, for stopping over. Thank you very much, my friend.
Chad, something that I'm asking for everyone: who do you like to celebrate today? Who is this person that you think, Cinco de Mayo, big challenge? We need support. We need a support system around us. Who do you want to celebrate in that scenario?
It could be a special person in your life. Could be a mentor. Could be anybody.
Oh, it's Wendy Lutheran.
Oh,
that's great.
It's the wonderful Wendy Lutheran.
Right here. It's his ride or die, Miss Wendy.
Oh yeah. Okay. Cool. That's cool. That's cool, man.
That's awesome. That's very admirable of you.
Well, thanks for having me on.
Thank you for joining us.
Chad, how can we find you? Tell me, how can we find you if you are watching this beautiful episode right now?
Instagram, email, what you got?
It's Chad Scalf at Holmes.
Okay.
Is my website.
Chad Scalf Holmes.
Or just find me on Facebook or Instagram at Chad Scalf.
Chad Scalf on Instagram, guys. If you want to see this ocean of knowledge, this guy have a lot to share,
Deep ocean,
and if you're a young realtor, you can also reach him and get some of this knowledge. I'm pretty sure that he's gonna share with you some of them. Okay.
And thank you guys. And I give back.
Thank you, Chad.
Thank you, Chad. It was amazing, buddy.
So, Lori.
Now, Lori McQuestion. Lori, thank you for coming.
Special guest here. Lori is not a real estate agent, but she represents the largest association of realtors in the country.
That I do. Yes.
Tell us a little bit about that, please.
Absolutely. I am the proud Director of Business Development in Broward for the Miami Association of Realtors.
How many realtors are in the Miami Association of Realtors?
Well, we are the largest in the country with over 60,000 members and second largest in the world next to Toronto, Canada.
That would be a lot of referrals for you, Augusto,
That's
for the
great,
Captain
Lori.
Painters.
Absolutely.
That would be a lot.
I'm so pleased to meet you right now. I'm seeing.
I might have changed your life right now by introducing you to Lori.
Let me see if I find the right one. See ya.
In our world, Augusto, we call this a life-changing introduction,
There
my
you
friend.
go.
A
I love
life-changing
it.
introduction.
That's more than Cinco in the de Mayo there, right?
Laurie, I'm so pleased to have you here, Laurie.
My
in
pleasure,
this beautiful party. Tell us a little bit. How do you feel? With all those realtors together to collaborate. Sometimes realtors fight between them, but here everybody's colleagues, everybody's friends, right?
And they look like friends.
Exactly. Maybe it's the alcohol talking. It could be the margaritas, but we're like one big happy family.
Right.
And I always say, regardless of your board affiliation or association, it's all for the greater good. We're all in the same industry. We're all here to help, at least on, at the association. My job, my duty, responsibility is to help you guys in any way that I can, help you succeed and do business, do more business, and that's what it's about.
So this whole party is to celebrate a couple of different things. One of them, obviously, is the success of
Now do you know, Jay? Can you tell our public, our audience, what what it is? Jay is going to explain to everyone what is Cinco de Mayo.
Apparently there was this battle between Mexico and France. Right?
No, Jay knows everything about the story of Mexico.
I just they never taught this in school. So, but what makes the Miami Associated Realtors the biggest and baddest on the block? I mean, that's a big battle.
Absolutely.
Yes.
You know what? We've got a lot going for us. We have built quite the empire over the years. Thanks very much to our amazing CEO, Teresa King-Kinney. Shout out to TK.
Hey, TK.
But we are all about training and education.
Got it.
And I am really big with part of my job duties as Director of Business Development is training, presentation, working with the brokers, the agents, and teaching them about the top products and services that they have access to as part of their membership to help them succeed.
Nice.
That's why I'm here.
Nice.
And education is everything,
Education
right?
and awareness and knowledge, that's what it's about.
I mean, Augusto, if you can imagine the abundance of events that real estate agents go to, and this woman sitting in front of you is at every one of them.
Yeah. I also
good.
organize the events in Broward, so I'm
That's
rarely
great.
sitting still.
I
I'm
don't
always
think
somewhere.
As the Real Stuff podcast is looking for partnership with associations,
Funny
right?
you mentioned that. Also a life-changing introduction.
You never know who you're going to meet, right?
Glory,
I'm
for
telling
sure.
you.
Yeah, it's gonna be great.
Yeah.
So tell me, like the Cinco de Mayo, this battle of Puebla, in Mexico, and the Mexican overcome the France, and we try here to bring a little success, something that was a turning point, something that was a breakthrough for someone.
Exactly.
What was yours personally?
My personal breakthrough?
Yeah. Or an event that was like a changing of your life, but was so difficult, but you could overcome this.
Wow. Okay, so that's more of like a challenge or a hurdle.
Yeah.
Well, on a personal level, I guess, I've always had this fear of heights thing.
Okay.
And a few years back, I parasailed, and now I've done it several times. So
right.
I don't like deep water, the ocean. Like I would
Okay.
never
But
you
scuba dive.
conquered this- you
But since
conquered
then,
that,
I conquered it. I've parasailed. I've gone snorkeling.
Oh my gosh.
So I'm just like, you just gotta do it. You just
See, I
gotta
like that.
say,
I love it.
like the
whatever
fact
your
that
thing is or whatever, you've got
it
to
doesn't have to
overcome
be
it.
business. It could
Yeah.
be something in your life.
No, and it helps you in business. I say I was born with a microphone in my hand because I DJ, I MC, I talk and present.
Oh,
and,
we can see
and
this.
all this good
You're
stuff.
so comfortable here with
And yet I get nervous, speaking in front of a crowd for the first time. But
Now, do you take that
overcome
element that, like, you're on a cliff and you're looking down, or you're on this parasail about to take off, and that little gut feeling? Do you take that and you hone that?
you just got to close your eyes and go for it. It's
I
like
did
life's too
skydiving
short.
once. Have you done something like this or not?
I get nervous sitting next to
man.
you
Yeah.
because I don't know what you're going to say sometimes.
And the other night, this past Tuesday night, I
Yes.
sang the national anthem for the Marlins, my 24th
Are you
season.
serious?
So I'm like, if I could get out there in an arena and deal with that echo and do that
That's amazing,
time after
Ari.
time after time
That's so cool.
without fear, for the most part, then I pretty much can do
What,
it.
what would be the tips and any how do you inspire people or teach them or give them a little tip about how to overcome their fears? What you say? What
You
your
know
takeaway?
what? People that are in real estate, it is a people business,
Okay.
and the people who get in it who are maybe kind of like wallflowers, a little shy, whatever. I said you've got to overcome that. Go to the networking events. Start with the Biz After Hours events. They're very low key. They're fun. There's a little bit of alcohol involved. It's free. You'll see people. You'll talk to people in a relaxed, casual setting. You'll get more comfortable. Then take it up a notch. Go to the City Spotlight events or one of the many events that we have going on in
That's
Broward.
something that you should look into. The City Spotlight events is
gosh.
something that I think that
Okay.
Miami Broward
I never went
Association-
to.
Oh my goodness.
This is something that
Yep.
they've started to do over the last couple of years. They highlight a city, whether it's in Miami, Broward, or Palm Beach.
Exactly.
And they really do an amazing job bringing a great amount of lifestyle
Yes.
and sponsorship to that event as well.
Yep.
too. It's
That's
great
pretty cool.
connecting.
It's
Great connecting.
basically lunch with the mayor of a particular city. Next up is going to be June 14th, also Flag Day, which is going to be the city of Weston. So we've got the Weston mayor and city manager both already lined up on the panel.
That's good, but this tip that you gave, guys, go there and try to, try to show up, and try to have a communication network.
Absolutely.
But I remember sometimes I'm a little introvert. Jay does not agree with me, but a little bit introvert. introvert. And then I was on those networking events. For me, it was so difficult because I didn't know anyone there, and it was so uncomfortable to come to someone that I don't know. How do you do this? Please tell me, Jay, that you are an extrovert. You know,
it's tough. It's tough.
In this case, you pair up or partner up with someone who can make the introductions. Or in the case with our events, we always have these amazing sponsors, our affiliate members. You go up and you talk to them, and you get to know them. And people know people, and introductions are made, and it gets easier each time. And you come out of your shell because again, it's a people business. You've got to be able to talk to people and relate to people, or you're just going to get lost in the shuffle.
Guys, I think it is a great tip. You can come to someone that's organizing the event, or someone that knows more people. Then say, and come humbly for that person and say, guy, I'm extremely introvert. Can you help me out to introduce to some people? It would be a good strategy, right, Lori?
Exactly.
They say it's not how many people you know, it's who you know.
I was just going to say that. It's not always necessarily what you know, it's who you know.
That's what it is.
I'm telling you.
I went to this important conference, and we have this event that have different tables and some anchors, people that was in the center of the table. Right. And I remember myself really trying to search about them to select the right table. So it's a little bit more about this, right? To search a little bit who's going to be in the event, who can you approach, and how to approach them, right?
Exactly. And you know what? You don't know. That other person might seem like the most outgoing person in the world, but we all have our own little insecurities. And, they were there at one point too, and they had to learn to come out of their shell, and you don't know what they're thinking and feeling. And it's just all about communication and just getting in touch with people and, being real, Don't ever be afraid to talk to someone. We're all humans. Like I said, we all take,
This is great tips from one of the best business professionals in the business.
Well, thank you, Jay.
Yeah, and you take care of the marketing of the association, right?
I'm sorry?
No, not the marketing, the business development.
Business development. And market. The marketing is inside
actually,
the business
I do a ton of marketing on the events. Yes. I'm all about the, I do the social media marketing, particularly on Facebook, and in addition to trainings, presentations, very event-oriented and getting the word out.
So, Lori, as a final question, what we like to find out is who's an inspiration to you that's kind of given you kind of your humpsa of is it a
humpsa?
Yeah. Did you just say a dirty word?
Wow. So who's somebody that you'd like to give a shout out to that has really kind of been something that's been inspiring to you?
Absolutely, hands down, without a doubt, Danielle Claremont, our COO.
Love Danielle.
We worked together actually at the other board years ago. I left there about 17 years ago and went on to do radio and PR and hospitality and a bunch of other things, and came full circle back to real estate. And she continued on and then eventually came to Miami, and we have been friends ever since, and now we actually work together. She's technically my boss because she's the big cheese.
She's amazing. Dee, if you're listening, and I know you are, we love you.
We do.
Shout out to you, girl.
She is absolutely amazing. Shout
also
out to DYC.
Also amazing athlete too. All right, thank you so much.
Let's get a little bit some information. So if I'm a young realtor, if I want to know a little bit more about this, how to get some trainings and how to approach
how do you join the Miami Association of Realtors?
Absolutely. Everything begins at MiamiRealtors.com. MiamiRealtors.com. All of the information is there. If you put a / after MiamiRealtors.com, put in anything you want to know more about, call our number. We're there Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. I'm always easily accessible. Jay knows how to get a hold of me. I'm always ready, willing, able to talk to you.
Awesome.
Call me, shoot me a text, whatever you want. And it really is. We'd love to have you as part of our amazing association, and as we continue to grow and succeed.
Yeah, we can invite Lori to come to our podcast, the Deep Podcast, as a
maybe
co-host.
We'll host a live event at one of their
Absolutely. Let's talk. I would love that.
Yeah.
Adam G, better known as Adam G.
Okay, so Adam G, right?
So Adam, tell us a little bit. So we're celebrating Cinco de Mayo, but most people think Cinco de Mayo is just like a celebration of tequila. This is actually a celebration of overcoming adversity. I don't know if you know the history of Cinco de Mayo, but Mexico beat out France, beat the shit out of them. And
it's a constant theme in their history, unfortunately. Now Jay knows everything about the story, like the history of Mexico after being this podcast.
In our business, it's not so easy being where you're sitting at right now. And what I want to know about is, give me some juice. Give me something that. Where was a moment in your life where you really said, "Hey, listen, to overcome this, I had to find something inside of me to make this happen"?
I think we all, you get into this business, right? Dreams, aspirations. Right. You see them online. You see them on TV.
Very fluffy.
Thank God, though, for a lot of those shows, because it introduced a lot of people into the industry.
Sure.
You have to wear a lot of hats. Good negotiator, great communicator. You got to be personable. You got to have patience. You have to have almost like an ignorance that you're going to win. Right. Everyone's goals and dreams and aspirations are different. What's the model of success is, up to the individual person, which is great. Everyone's got 1,000 different business models, so you got to figure out what's good for you. So
how do you stay genuine? Because were you always this cool, or did you become cool because
you spend a lot of time alone? You stay away from certain people. No, there's a lot of great people in this industry. I'm sitting here with you guys is great. We have obviously working history, personal history, and you're seeing friends in the business. So it's great to see people that have chipped away over the decades or even a few years. They made a good impression. I think the grassroots of it all is pretty simple. They're good handshake people. They keep a great reputation in the community. They're hard workers. They care about their clients, which is most important. And at the end of the day, everyone has their client, and you're not. I'm not for everyone. Whoever it may be is not for everyone. They gravitate naturally. So I think what to answer your question was you start to figure out who your ideal client is. What areas do you enjoy, the lifestyle, the real estate values in particular? Where can you communicate well? I think that's what it comes down to. I don't do geographical farming. There's a lot of people that are very successful at narrowing themselves down in certain areas, and they're the go-to professional in those respective areas. I get bored.
So you're talking about becoming unique, right? Unique in terms of your own personality.
Yeah.
The way that you approach the market, and also to find your ideal client. What is your ideal client? And sometimes it's very difficult. Someone that's joined the business, right, to figure out this. How can we figure out what is your ideal client?
There's a great. I'm going to give some tidbit that I tell a lot of people. There's a wonderful article. It's called 101 Ways of Attracting Affluence into Your Life. 101 ways, or maybe 100 or 101 ways. And I came across this PDF early in my career. And it was just kind of like establishing yourself in your passions, And at the end of the day, people do business with who they know, like, and trust. And if they know, like, and trust you, and God forbid you're actually very good at your job, then you have an opportunity to earn business eventually. Yeah. And the process is tough, Buying a house, most people stay in a home. I think the average now is almost 6 to 7 years. It used to be longer. Right. So the frequency of transactions is sooner. But 6-7 years, I can't wait to pay my bills in between that. Sure. So you have to build frequency. And
how it come down to you? How do you find your ideal client and your market? And what is your market now?
And I'm going to couple that too, because I think that what you're saying, when I'm going to just kind of phrase it for you, is the niche.
The niche. The niche. I got it. I think my niche in general is, I haven't done a deal for a stranger in almost 8 years. I've been in the business 9 years.
It's impressive.
So I take a lot of pride in that. Now, that's capped my income per se, because I'm not dealing with 60, 70, 80 transactions a year. I'm probably doing 35, 45 transactions a year, but I know them. So what happens there is, I have less money out of pocket, for my marketing expenses. I got a few things I do, but I'm not going to outspend someone in the neighborhood, because I'm not going to geographically outfarm someone. It's just I operate all 3 counties.
That's interesting. I like, it's a different model in our business, because there's a lot of ways to make money in our business.
Yeah, and it seems similar to mine.
I think this is something I really respect Adam about, which is how he really taps into his personal sphere of people.
Yeah, and I'm lucky that my friends are competent at what they do in their own professional dealings. And I try and stick to my own moral compass of, like, if I know you and I like you and I respect you, I want to either learn more about you, befriend you, figure out social engagements, business arrangements, and I figured out a lot of referral partners is really the key. Yeah. And you got to get your groups together, and you got to support each other.
And so this way that I would, if I would like to define, I would say circles of influence, right? So you create different circles of influence, and then you start expanding them through the other circles that you're gonna expand, right?
I didn't mean to cut you off. Absolutely. No, I'm blessed that I have a lot of cheerleaders in my business that have taken me by the hand and said, I want to make an intro to you. And that means a lot to me. So there's an intrinsic side to the business, and then there's the brass tacks, and you got to make money, you got to fulfill their goals financially, timelines, and we're managing a lot. But yes, you got to have people that got your back, plain and simple.
So Adam, one of the questions that we want to end with is, in this business,
yes,
what's something that you kind of fall back on as an inspiration to you? It could be a shout out to somebody that is behind you, that supports you.
Yeah.
It could be a leader, it could be a mentor. What is it that you like?
To
look
who
out
you
to?
would like to send a message right now and like frame it this beautiful video and send to them?
I'm gonna look. My parents have always supported me, which is great, right? Everyone's got to have their support team.
Yes.
But I'm really going to say, the clients that have always said, I knew eventually you would be doing X. I knew you'd be working here. I always wanted to work with you because of the following. Those are the people. Those are your cheerleaders. Those are the core of your business. So I spend a lot of time with the people that I've done business with, people from my past. And, early in your career, when you get like the friend that doesn't buy with you or the relative.
I hate that.
Yeah,
I hate that.
Yeah, you never see them again. No, I'm just kidding. No, but like you learn to take it on the chin, and you evolve from that. That's what happens. And
If you have to select a name to mention now and send a message, who it would be?
So my ex-boss is here actually.
okay.
So I'm going to say what's up to Corey Edwards and Heather Edwards of Keller Williams.
I like that.
So they're a great example of a family business, and every time we see each other, it's always, hey,
You kind of
boss.
set the path for a young Adam.
It was just a great example. Hard worker, diligent. I worked in the construction industry in town for Hooper Construction as well. I'd say hi to Alan Hooper.
Did not know that.
He took me on, and Florida State was great for me. I have a degree in real estate as well. Urban Land Institute.
Do you actually get degrees from Florida State?
You do, besides the other stuff that we won't mention on the podcast. But, I made sure not to have class on Friday for happy hour pop alleys, but
I love it.
yeah, that whole crew of people.
Yeah.
The philanthropic world that I'm involved with, and my referral partners, and my business partners that I really feel. And I've been to the funerals, I've been to the weddings, I've been to births, I've been to these are people close to me. So that's what's important.
Adam, if people out there need to find you, where do they find you at?
They can see me on the streets. I don't know.
He's the man of the town. He's the man on the town.
They can find me. I got the easiest phone number in Olive Oil.
Shout it out.
954-612-3456.
Oh my God.
My late grandfather David.
How much did you pay for this number,
Notice he
man?
didn't give his Instagram. He only gave his phone number to the digits.
He paid $50,000
My
for this
late
number.
grandfather, rest in peace. His
Get
old
back here and
number.
get a selfie with us real quick.
Thanks, guys, for
Thank you,
having me.
buddy. Thank you, buddy. Jay does not want people to be known, but here, Alfredo Pujol is our next guest here. Did I speak correctly on the last name?
You said it perfecto.
Pujol. Okay,
So you got the accent. When I say stuff, it doesn't sound good, but when you say it, it sounds much better. Much better. I'm now officially the second best dressed guy here.
No, you're the first best dressed.
No.
I saw what you were wearing. I saw it, and I was like, you know what? I changed jackets.
I shouldn't have posted before I left the house this morning.
It's a good competition,
I
but
brought
I
two
like this
jackets.
the hat, like the Mexican hat you have there. So probably
They
you'll go.
dressed me up today.
Very awesome, very awesome. So we kind of have a man of many hats sitting in front of us right now. He's not only a fantastic broker, but he leads the charge of this amazing industry of real estate agents here at the Miami Associated Realtors. And I want you to tell us a little bit about what it's like to take on a task like that. Why would you even want to do something like that?
Man, this is an intense podcast. So why would I want to do something like that? I was tapped on the shoulder.
You're a glutton for
I was
punishment.
tapped on the shoulder. They
You're a
said,
glutton for
hey, you got to do
punishment.
this. You got to do this. You got to run the Broward Miami Association. No, I had the honor to serve with you as a governor.
Yes, you did.
And just there serving, and you get the tap on the shoulder, and you can't say no.
You get
right?
the call.
You get the call.
It's like,
Yep,
it's like
going to the big
baseball.
leagues.
It's like
Yep.
baseball. It's like
Yep.
baseball. You get the call.
You're going to the big leagues, and I got that call, and it's just it's been a cool ride.
So the theme of our show here, Augusto, I don't know if you know the history. Do you know the history?
Guys, now we know.
Do you know? Now I'm phrasing it as a question.
Now Jay can speak everything about the
Do you
Cinco
know
de
the
Mayo.
history of Cinco de Mayo?
Oh, well, I do a little bit.
You do?
I do a little bit.
All
I
right.
found out Pueblo. I know Pueblo's involved.
Puebla.
Sorry,
Yes,
Puebla.
yes.
Perdóname.
No,
I'm sorry.
you are a lot better
For my
than Jay.
Spanish
I
speakers.
can tell you.
So I know it's not Corona.
Because
It's
Jay-
not
Jay-
I'm gonna
Corona.
add that to my list of
Jay
things to
told me
say.
what you told me, Jay. I don't know, like drink,
I
not
have
drink.
no idea what I'm saying anymore.
No, Jay, it was most like Independence Day. No, Jay, it was Independence Day. Or it's not.
Jay, you said that?
I messed it
I
up.
Googled.
No, I
I
messed
Googled.
it up.
As a president, I can't mess up.
I phoned a friend and they gave me the wrong answer, guys.
Was that you? Was that you that phone a friend?
No.
Here's my friend. Yes.
Okay, anyway.
So pony him up for our big question.
Yeah. So the point is, like, today is like this battle, right? The Cinco de Mayo, this beautiful and strong, the Mexican overcome the France. You know, that was like a strong and huge army. And we're talking about success and challenges, right? A turning point, something, an event in your life that you overwhelm with a gigantic force against you, and you could turn it into a win for you, into a success for you. It could be professionally, it could be personally, but what would come to your mind if you think about this?
So I think to when I started in real estate, 2007, when the market was nice and hot, is when I started. When the market was going the other way, right? So success was staying in the business.
Yeah.
So I was about 23 years old, not knowing what to do, and kind of figuring out. And yeah, it was an interesting time. So success was making it through those 2 years. And now fast forward, I've been 15 years, and I get to hang out with guys like Jay, and I get on podcasts, the real stuff.
I mean,
right?
you're an important guy. You're an important guy.
But it started there. So big success, I think, was making it through the first 2 years of real estate, not having a clue what to do. And then, it's not that bad selling these houses or helping people. And here we are 15 years later.
So, we had Lori McQuestion up earlier, and we understand now that 67,000 real estate agents that are kind of under our flag, right? I mean, you're a leader in this community as the real estate agent, and a lot of people look up to you, and they look to you for guidance, okay? And what is it what's a value? What is something that you're, as a constant, that you're constantly kind of giving people little check-ins on, that you're give us a little nugget. I'm kind of curious, like where you're the seat you're in right now.
So on the seat I'm in is, I think when someone wants to do something, empowering them to do it. So I think you and I on the board, right, when there's different events or different things that we want to do, it's being there to support that person, but empowering them. As a leader, you can't go take people out of the roles that they're going to do. So this is your podcast. This is your show. Yeah. So I'm here to support you, help you do on that side. But I think that's the side on leadership is we got to let other people go forward and move forward. And that's part of having the board of governors, right? We have 20 of you that are there to serve and help. So I'm just the voice to try to get what you want done.
That's pretty big. You and I have this commonality between us, and we call it the giver's gain. Yeah. And I think you're an amazing example of that. I really do. The fact that you selflessly give so much of your time and efforts to people like myself, and it's at a sacrifice. It's got to be a sacrifice to you, to your family, to your lifestyle.
Yep. It is. So one of the tricks is, before I ever come to these events, I always stop home. Yeah. Check the baby, check on the family.
I want to shout out to the family. Shout
out to them. But always there first, right? So that's got to come first. If not, we don't have any business. Right?
And the balance,
referrals come from families. They don't come from anything else.
And guys, that is a great example that we can still balance your life and still focus on a family, right? So the value of the family is extremely important. I think it's extremely important for all realtors and that's a very good tip. What do you say about that? People sometimes they destroy their lives or their family lives because they don't try to find a little bit of balance.
I think it's a team. Right? Anything's a team. That's why when you mentioned the association and all that, you have 62,000 realtors. We have all the board of governors. So it's a team. So I can't be expected to be everywhere. We got Lori over here taking photos and videos, you doing podcasts. So I think when you learn that everybody can work together, that's how you really grow, right? You don't have to be at every event. You should be with your family. You should be a part of that. But it doesn't hurt to enjoy Cinco de Mayo and learn about
the battle
independence from.
See, I didn't get a hall pass here. I invited my wife. So it's a little easy.
So we got to get her on the podcast.
Happy wife, happy
we got to get her on the podcast.
Actually, that might not be a bad interview.
That's not going to be a bad interview for sure.
I wonder if she knows the story of Puebla, right?
Oh boy.
Alfredo, how can we support a little bit more you and the association? What do you say?
Oh, so for sure you got to follow us at Broward Miami on IG.
Good
for
point.
my youth. You got to follow us on Instagram. Follow me on Instagram, Puj the Original. On that site. How you can support us? Go to Tallahassee. Go to NAR. Vote. go do those things. I think that's how you support as a realtor. Because you got all these issues happening, and then you want to see it on the table. So the way you get that is go be at the events, go to Tallahassee, go to Washington. Be
so I'm just gonna underline what he's talking about too, because there's a lot of things that happen in our real estate industry that does not get done unless people like Alfredo and our legal side that's advocating for us at Tallahassee to make sure that these things that we have that we're blessed with here in Florida get really advocated for us with our with our Senate, with our state representatives as well too.
Yep. And you were a part of that, right?
Yes.
So being on the board, you're part of that side. So
Absolutely.
That's how you get a seat on the table and help people out.
Yeah. Cinco de Mayo is also a time to celebrate people that support us, right? Because they were in this small town, they were all together and they support each other to overcome this. Who do you want to remember today? Who is this person, this name that would like to, give this beautiful message? Thank you for being my life. Thank you for supporting me. And it could be any time of your life, right?
This is deep.
This is gonna be a deep one.
I say it's my parents. They're still around.
Yeah.
So mom and dad, big shout out to them.
I like that.
What are their names? What are their names?
Alfredo. So the first one, I'm the second one.
You're the junior.
I'm junior, and I got the third.
Okay.
Alfredo the third. So I figure I keep it along that side, and then Vivian. So shout out to them. Without them, I might not be in real estate.
That's great.
I gotta give a shout out to them.
That's a big shout out to the parents. We love you guys. Thanks for taking care of this man to lead our charge and be our advocate on the streets.
Thank you for being on.
Get over here and take a selfie with us.
Okay, guys, selfie. Alfredo here with us. Thank you, Alfredo. Okay, guys, we have here Corey Heather Edwards.
Nice to meet you, my friend.
Hey, what's up, fellas?
Thank you for coming here.
No problem, man. No problem.
Where are you coming from, Corey? What's going on over here?
Where I'm coming from?
Corey might be the most hip-looking guy here, right?
I don't know. What I know is that everyone was, you have to bring this guy here to the podcast. You have to bring this guy here to the podcast. So tell me, Corey, why? Everyone wants you here in this podcast.
I have no idea. No idea. Well, hey, listen, man, I'm hanging out with you guys. You know what I mean?
Did you just sneak in the back, Corey?
No. I mean, hey, listen, I can't jump fences, right? So I can't go through the background.
So you're a real estate agent, Corey?
Well, yeah, I've been in real estate 28 years.
All right.
And now I'm fading out of real estate as a knock on 30 years in being in real estate.
Okay, why's that?
Yeah.
Why's that?
Well, I'm in speaking right now, so I do a lot of speaking, as you can see.
Motivational stuff.
Yeah. As you see, I walk on two canes, right?
I like it.
So I'm paralyzed from the knees down.
Are you really?
Yeah. Haven't wiggled my toes in 30 years.
Tell me that story. What happened? So
I got shot. I got shot at the age of 17.
Oh shit.
It was an accidental gunshot. Born and raised in Detroit. Long story short.
Tough city.
All right, man.
But I love D-Town.
Yeah, that's it, man. Hey, love it, man.
I love D-Town. I'm a Midwest guy, so
what is that again?
I'm a Midwest guy myself.
Got it. Where you from?
I'm from Ohio.
Oh, okay, Ohio. Right. Nice. What part?
OH, baby.
Oh, Lord. Man, thank God you're on the side of the table over there.
The table.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I'm Michigan guy.
So you're down here permanently now?
Yeah, I've been down in South Florida since 2008.
Okay.
Checked out of Detroit back in 2008 after the market tanked.
So you're slinging real estate up there?
Oh yeah, slinging a lot of houses, and market tanked, and I needed a reset in my life after following Chapter 7.
Shit. Okay. Did this incident happen to you up in D-Town?
Yeah. That happened back in 1993.
Okay.
So it's been 30 years after my injury, and man, I'm been slinging a lot of real estate over my career.
Well, it's interesting that you bring up some adversity in your life, because one of the topics that we're trying to tie in here to the Cinco de Mayo, obviously everybody's celebrating and having a great time.
Right.
But really the theme of Cinco de Mayo is about adversity. It's about the battle between Mexico and France and overcoming adversity.
Right.
And so what you just hit on was a central nerve. So tell us a little bit more about that. What's your drive? Obviously this was a big moment in your life.
Yeah, it's good. So I just wrote a book. It's called 29 Years Later.
Love that.
29 years after my injury, and coming from Detroit and going through being paralyzed and pushed through many times of adversity. It has never stopped me becoming the top 5th real estate agent in the world, right?
That's cool.
So,
man.
2000.
The top.
Top 5th in the world.
15.
You know?
Okay.
Yeah, number 5.
Number 5.
Number 5.
The top 5
Cinco,
in the
right?
world.
Cinco.
Oh my gosh, let's celebrate this.
So that was an amazing award in 2016 that
That's
I got.
amazing. And who bestowed that upon you? Where does that come from?
Well, it came from numbers, right?
Okay.
So I'm with Keller Williams Realty.
Awesome.
Okay.
You know,
Shout out to Keller.
Yeah. Number 1 real estate company in the world by agent count. And
love it.
Let's not back.
You wrote your book after this or before this? Your book?
No, my book just came out. It came out 6 months ago.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
What's the name of your book and how can we find them?
Yeah, it's called 29 Years Later. Yeah,
29 years later, you guys, if you want to search this book.
You know one thing I don't like about you already is that you're the top 5th real estate agent in the world.
Yeah.
And
I was now.
And you have less wrinkles than I do. So I'm not really very happy about this.
Well, they have a joke for black folks like myself.
What it is.
You know, black don't crack. You know that, right? You know what I mean?
That's awesome. That's awesome.
I work with Dr. E.T. His name is Eric Thomas. He's my
respect to E.T.
Yeah, E.T. He
listen to him every morning.
He wrote my foreword to my book.
Awesome.
So I do a lot of motivation with E.T. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah,
awesome.
man.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, he's
what is all about?
Some important people. Some important table.
What types of what I would say besides the motivation, right? The motivation is very strong, but what you can teach people through your book, and through your life experience that you think is extremely important.
You know, it's resilience, guys. You know what I mean? And at the same time, it's mindset, right?
Okay.
You know, pushing through times of adversity. You know, I always say, there's 3 cycles of life, which is adversity. Either A, you're in it, right? You know, you're in the middle of it. You don't know what to do. Something happened to you. Or B, you're coming out of adversity, right? Or C, you're going right back into it.
Okay.
So that's the overall cycle of life, right?
Do you think that you've learned more from pain than pleasure?
Yeah, I mean every single pain point in my life I've learned.
It seems to be a motivator for you.
Yeah. I've had a lot of different falls in my life. Besides my injury, financially. Divorce.
Right.
I have a beautiful wife now. She's floating around here somewhere now. But listen, every single fall that I've had, I've learned, and guess what, guys? I have 0 regrets.
So take me back.
Yeah.
I mean, before your incident, right?
Yeah.
Because now you're just you.
Right.
So you don't have something to fall back on, what happened to you to really kind of carry you to the next level.
Right.
And so, like I said, I sense that you seem to have a lot of motivation from the challenges that you had in your life.
Right.
So now you're this agent. What is a trait that you're seeing in yourself that maybe these other agents can tap into that really took you to the next level?
Well, at the end of the day, it's mindset, right? 0 complaints. There's no room for complaints. There's no excuses.
I like that.
Hey, listen, man.
There's no crying in baseball.
Yeah, listen. I tell agents now. Listen, if a guy like myself walking around on 2 canes that have sold hundreds of houses in 1 year, listen, man. It's a hell of a lot easier for you to do. If Corey Edwards can do it, it's a lot easier for you to do.
I love that.
So that's what I'm about.
But you put work to do this and to have this mindset right now, right? It's not as easy for everyone like it is right now for you, and probably you have your ups and downs throughout your life as well. I'm pretty sure that one day you had I don't have the right mindset, and you can remember this. Give me a little bit one day that you didn't have the right mindset, and how you did to overcome this. What was your exit of this?
Great question. So I always go by the life meaning of life can be a lot worse, right?
Okay.
You know what I mean? So in my book, I give you a little snapshot. After my injury, I was in the hospital for 3 months. Paralyzed, right? Doctors told me I'd never walk again. Hundreds of doctors, and I had 2 roommates at that point in time that were, they had spinal cord injuries. But guess what? They were quadriplegics, right? We had one guy at that, we were the same age, 17, 18 years old. He got shot in the neck, right? And the other guy, he was in his mid-50s. He was in a horrific car accident, right? And he was a quadriplegic. And here I am, I'm in the middle of this room between two quadriplegics, right? And I became grateful that I lost 50% of my body. Does that make sense? So going.
Okay, I got it. Let me ask you this, because I got this and I'm very interested. Perspective.
Right.
I think the right word would be perspective.
Right.
It always puts things into a perspective. So eventually when you're in a wrong mindset, you can put yourself into perspective. It's what you did there.
Right.
So it can put you in the right mindset, correct?
Yeah, absolutely. And even, like sometimes I have challenges, right? You know what I mean? And yeah, do I beat myself up here and there periodically? I do, but guess what? I slap myself in the face and I go back to what I've been through and what I see in real life with other people. And
Nobody cares as much as you.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You're not pushed through those times, man. So listen, I have no complaints.
Okay, guys. Yeah. So something that we do here, we ask you to, remember someone that was extremely, because the battle of Cinco de Mayo, right? You need to support people, and this battle was like the people of the village. They put themselves together, right? And they faced this overwhelming army.
It's a big, deep meaning behind Cinco de Mayo.
I would like you to think about who would be this person that you have in your mind as a support in your life that help you to.
Something tells me you have like a long history, a long list.
Absolutely, listen, man. Listen, I have 4 kids.
Do you really?
Yeah, 4 kids.
What's your youngest? What's your oldest?
I have 2 in college, right?
Awesome.
They're getting ready to graduate. One at SMU in Dallas. Have another one in Miami. About to graduate, both of them. Then we have 2 at home that are 10 and 11.
Nice.
But he mentioned, who I look for support, which is my parents, right? My parents are, my parents are 82 and 83 years old, and what I've been through, it's nothing compared to what they've been through. My parents had a total of 7 kids, and there's only 3 of us left, right?
Wow.
My mother lost 3 kids in a car accident, right? And she survived. So we talk about support. We talk about comparing yourself to others.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Once you have that idea of comparing yourself to others, listen, man, you'll be like, oh my God, my life isn't that bad.
I got a great
perspective, right? Perspective.
I have a question for you, and you might be the perfect person to ask this to.
Right.
Because every story you have has an incident in their life that just is like mind-blowing to most people out there.
Right.
So what about a person out there that right now that doesn't have that kind of change in life moment that impacts them, not to say in a negative way, but it was something that unfortunately happened. That then your parents had to get it all together because they had surviving kids that they had to be a role model to.
Right.
You went through something where you were injured, and then you had to be a role model to your family and to yourself and go through.
Right.
But not everybody else out in this world has that. How do you speak to people like that?
So I speak to people like that all the time, and it's our environment is who we are, who we become, right? Who I hang out with, my influence or my environment, my boys or my girls or my wife, or who we surround ourselves make us who we become, right? So if you're in that stage of adversity, where if you're going through that hardship in life, listen, and you're around the naysayers or you can't do this, you got to change the game.
Surround yourself with the right people.
You got to fire your crowd in order to get a better crowd, and I can guarantee you there's going to be a better crowd that's out there.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. So we always like to end this by, we talked about somebody you'd like to give a shout out to that's standing right behind you right now, that's right in your corner right now, that's making things happen for you.
Right.
Who would you like to give that shout out to?
Oh man, my wife, man. That's my queen. You know
What's her name? What's her name?
Heather Edwards. She's around here somewhere.
Heather Edwards.
I got my wife here too. You got to introduce the girls.
Yeah, man.
That's awesome.
100%.
What's next going on in your life?
Listen, man. I'm retiring. You know what I mean? I made the billboards. And, I'm here to coach and help, but most importantly, I'm here to rock the mic on stages.
And you're local.
Yeah, Fort Lauderdale.
We'd love to have you on the show sometime and really dive deep into your life.
100%, man. No doubt, bro.
Respect for you jumping on here
much
like you
love,
did.
man.
Like that.
Okay, how can you find you, Ben? How can you find you and
You
find your
go to
book?
my website, 29yearslater.com.
And the book again?
29yearslater.com. You go to the website,
29yearslater.com, guys. So find him.
yearslater.com.
Amazing story to be shared, to be, to be inspired.
No doubt.
Thanks so much for coming.
Oh my gosh, we have here Linda Hoyt. Linda Hoyt with us.
One of our guest panelists.
Woo-hoo! Cinco de Mayo special. Cinco de Mayo special, the Real Stuff Show. Jay.
They always come back, Augusto. They always come back.
We forget the sponsoring time. The sponsor time.
It's important to mention right now that we have some very important people and very important sponsors that make this show happen. I'd like to give a shout out to one of my favorite painting companies in Fort Lauderdale, the Captain Painters. Now, if you have not worked with the Captain Painters before, one of the unique things about them is they will not take a dime from you until you are 100% satisfied. Shout out to thecaptainpainters.com. Check them out.
Woo! Special Cinco de Mayo. Special Cinco de Mayo. Now is Linda Hoyt. Linda Hoyt with us. This super producer. Amazing, beautiful, high energy, sportive and everything.
So, Linda, you have been a guest host for us here on the Real Stuff Show, right?
Yeah.
So
Awesome. We
Yes,
really
and
appreciate it.
host as well.
We're going to dig into something a little different.
God.
So, you may or may not know that the celebration of Cinco de Mayo perhaps goes way back in time. We're talking centuries.
Centuries. What
Centuries
was the
ago.
year, Jay? What was the year?
It was 1917. Am I close? Am I close?
Jay knows everything about Cinco de Mayo history.
Just go with it. Just go with it. So, this whole
Guys, Cinco de Mayo, 1862.
1862. That's what I said. So this whole event was really about adversity and overcoming adversity. And one of the questions that we never got from you was, what is like the moment in your life? What is something that you look back into your life as like your core adversity act? Something that happened that you can sort of look back on and say, this is what drives me to success.
So many. But I would say, obviously.
I'm sorry, guys. I was asking for a margarita. Oh, she brought the margarita.
Thank you.
Elvia.
You're the best. Elvia.
Cheers to Elvia. Cheers to Elvia.
Elvia, the backbone of the curated collection group.
That's great. Cheers. Oh my gosh, Elvia is always saving our lives here, right?
She is the life preserver.
She's a
of our group.
multitasker.
She is.
So anyway, back to the question.
Back to your question.
So obviously, I would say the biggest thing for me.
Speak closely, Linda. I need you to. Today is really important to speak like this.
Make love to the microphone.
God, now it's great. Yes.
Perfect. That's the margarita talking.
Cut. Take two.
But don't drink too much because it can be inspired. Close to the
We don't have an HR yet on staff. So,
Okay. But seriously.
And
So,
Linda,
yes.
we are this beautiful party. You know, we're drinking a little bit,
Party's
so
amazing.
we have so much alcohol. Okay, so I'm sorry if we are not doing as deep as we
Listen,
do.
I'm fine. You don't have to tell me.
half the things you say half the things Augusto says you can't understand anyway, so he gets away with a lot more than I do.
You're so much clearer right now. It's like amazing.
It just sounds better when Augusto says things inappropriate.
Yes. with my accent, it becomes a little bit more
It's
sexy.
always better with an accent. 100%.
Linda, so happy to have you here.
Yes.
Your energy has lost shine, everything here.
Thank you. Gracias.
So tell us, what it was this turning point event in your life? You know, Cinco de Mayo, the battle of the Puebla, the city, the small city in Mexico, and the city put themselves together. The villagers, they joined the army, the Mexican army, and they overcome like the France.
Amazing.
Overwhelming army, and we are trying to catch for each one of our guests today.
That's a good question.
This moment,
Yeah.
this moment that you have a so big challenge that you could not even believe that you overcome it.
I got it. I mean, honestly, it's leaving my ex-husband with two young children. Leaving my ex-husband with two young children. I didn't have. I was a stay-at-home mom. I had no job. I was in a not good situation, and I was young.
I was like 35 years old, 34, which is young to me now.
Right.
And a lot of my friends didn't support me and said, what are you doing? Like, what are you going to do? How are you going to support yourself and your kids? And I was like, anything is better than this situation. And I left a bad marriage and got into real estate and raised my kids.
So you got a lot of people out there that have the same kind of story. Let's face it, like the divorce industry right now is up, 60%, right? So you have a better chance of getting divorced.
And I never wanted to be that person. I was like, I will not be that person.
That's not a label. It doesn't define you.
I know, but you have that mentality.
But what you do next defines you.
Yeah, absolutely.
So what happened? What is it about you that, like, some people will feel like, you know what, my life's over. I can't achieve what I need to achieve. What did you do that made you the success that you are today?
I've always had a different mentality. So, like, I have friends today that are still married that were unhappy when I got divorced, and some people stayed in the situation, and I stayed in even longer than I should have. And my mother kept saying, like, you need to get out of this situation. I'm like, no, I have 2 little kids. Like, what am I going to do? And, like, you just have to persevere. And I've always had that mentality of, like, go out there and attack it and just do the best you can. And I knew I would make it because I'm a very hard worker and I'm a survivor. So I'm like, I knew I'd be fine, but it is the fear of the unknown. I had many sleepless nights wondering how I was going to take care of my kids, But, you just go to work, and you look at your kids and you're going to do it. But, just do it.
When you overcome this after, it becomes a release, right? And you can celebrate. And for the Mexicans after, because of this win, they had enough strength to get into and then liberate themselves from France, because France tried to win their territory. So whenever the United States came back from the Civil War, they support a little bit the Mexicans, they could get back their country. What would be this? So this fact that you have this overcome this event in your life after probably brought some strength, right? Probably brought you some an edgy point that you could develop yourself and become stronger and have success.
Yeah.
Can you say a little bit about this?
I mean, it's funny because my mom would say to me, like, you should go, and I'd be like, I can't do it. I'm not strong enough to do it. And then you don't know until you do it. And I kind of always like a challenge, and that wasn't like, oh, I want a challenge, let me divorce my husband. It was more like, I'm not happy. My mother said, you're 35 years old. Do you want to be 55 in the same situation? And I was like, that would be stupid. So it's just like that you're going to do, that there's something better for you. There's always something that is better out there. If you're in a bad situation, you should never stay in it. And you'll land on your feet. If you just work and eye on the prize, you'll land on your feet.
There's a word that she describes that is used in our industry called grind.
Yeah.
Grind. You're a grinder.
I am a grinder.
You're a grinder?
Yeah.
I think it's awesome.
Yeah.
I think it's awesome.
Yeah, like working hard and grinding, it's for sure something that the people from Puebla did, and of course, that's bringing results, right? They bring outcomes.
We've talked to a good few people here.
Yeah.
Some people have amazing credentials coming from another industry. Some people have amazing education.
Yep.
You came, not to say you didn't come from anything, but you came from a position where you were, stay-at-home mom?
Yep.
And you reinvented yourself.
And I wasn't even from here. I was in Maryland. I grew up in Maryland. I moved to Sarasota for 2 years of high school. I went to UF. After college, I moved here. So I wasn't born and raised here. I didn't have the base of people. My family is not here. And I was like room mom. I was involved PTA involved with the school, but I was not I didn't have that built-in basis of people like a lot of people do here, which is amazing.
Yeah.
So I mean, I started with really ground zero in every aspect of my life.
And I have, it's funny because reflecting from your story to me, I think this is where I resonate a lot. In my building different teams in real estate, I've come across a lot of women that have tried to reinvent themselves because they were in a relationship that didn't work out. They had a responsibility to their kids. Absolutely. And unfortunately, they didn't start out with any type of career. They relied on their spouse.
A lot of people hear that from.
And I've dealt with different people that some of them just didn't survive. Yeah. And then I look at you and I say, this is the example of what I try to find, which is somebody that I don't care if they don't have a background in sales.
It doesn't matter.
But they got to have grit.
And you know what it is? It's like when you know, it doesn't matter what you have. It's like you can tell a personality that's going to go for it and get out there and hustle and do what they have to do, and no matter what the circumstances are. I had no back. My degree's in PR, which I am a people person, but it was not. I had anything that had to do with that. But a mentality of a person that's going to say yes, I'm going to go and work and do what I have to do to get it done.
Linda, here in this day, we are trying to celebrate people that was in our support, family or friends or in our support system, right? Because in the battle, right? So people, they put themselves together, each one support themselves. Who would be remembering today that would say that someone that's in your support system and that would like to do a shout out?
I have some really great friends that knew me before and what I went through and are still around, and because there's a lot of people that fall off, unfortunately, that unfortunately aren't happy for your successes and whatever.
You've got haters out there?
I know. What? I mean, people that just whatever, that are not always happy for your success. And I have some really close friends for 30 years that are and actually one of my good friends is one that is married and didn't work and stayed home with her kids, and now she's she actually got her license, and she's this is hard shit. I don't know how you do this.
Do you want to send a message? Do you want to send a message to her right now?
I don't want to embarrass her and put her on the spot.
Can I ask you a personal question?
Yeah.
All right, this is the real stuff here, right? So you probably in your circle of friends, right?
Yeah.
Probably had people around you that had very low expectations of you. Did you think about that? Let's rewind time a little bit.
Yeah, for sure.
Right? Stay home wife, stay home mom.
Not by choice, but
that's okay.
Okay.
That's okay.
Yeah.
No judgment here.
Yeah.
But now you're going to go off and you're going to try to battle the world, right?
Oh yeah.
So let me ask you a question. Has anybody came back full circle in life that knew you before, maybe questioned if you would actually become where you are today, and now as a validation, kind of giving you a little props?
Oh yeah, I've had numerous people actually that used to. I get texts, I get messages from people that were I knew you before, and I mean there's a lot of people that, especially women. I feel like I was a strong a woman. I was never a vigilante for women, but I was always a strong personality, a strong woman that were I think people expected me to fail. That's just it's human nature. She's gonna leave. What's she gonna do with her life? And I always knew. I just know my personality. I don't fail. It's just not in my makeup. But yeah, so many people that come up to me and said, I remember when you left your husband, you had nothing, you started real estate, and many people expect me. I think that's part of the reason why some of them are wow, she made it.
So the second part of that question will be we like to ask this as a closing question.
Yeah.
If there's somebody in your sphere that kind of gave you the motivation and drive to succeed, who would you like to give a shout out to?
Linda Hoyt. I'm very self-motivated. There was nobody that really...
That's great.
Wait, did she just give a shout out to herself?
Yes, I love it.
You are the first that gives a shout out to herself. All right.
So guys, we have just get a shout out to Linda Hoyt.
Linda, thank you so much for jumping back on the show. Come back here with us and give a little selfie. Awesome job.
So guys, we have Linda Hoyt here. Linda Hoyt, selfie.
Where do people find you? Where do people find you?
How they can find you?
On my Instagram, Linda_S_Point_Realtor, Facebook, my website. I'm everywhere.
Awesome.
The American Dream TV, selling Fort Lauderdale.
That's great. Linda Hoyt.
The best
Linda
person
Hoyt.
to ask about Linda is Linda.
And you can search the Real Stuff Show Linda Hoyt, and you're gonna see the full episode about her. If you search YouTube, The Real Stuff Linda Hoyt, you're gonna find her full episode as well. And now, Bridget O'Donnell.
Hey guys, how are you?
Whenever I see Bridget, I want to go,
Oh, well. Can I put you under the gun here a little bit, Jay?
I love that.
Jay has known me for 5.5 years.
I have.
He's known me since probably my first week in real estate.
Day one.
We were at the same company together.
Day one.
I remember meeting Jay.
I have a soft spot in my heart.
Bridget, I will ask you to speak very close, speak out loud, we need to hear your voice. Your beautiful voice. I don't know, but she has this calm energy.
She's so calm.
Oh my gosh, she arrived. We were super excited.
I'm on my best behavior right now.
Oh yeah, okay.
Bridget's got
she's hiding. She's hiding.
I've never seen Bridget flinch. Bridget's for a young, talented agent. She is like cool water. She's pretty.
No,
awesome.
really.
I aim to be. So that's a very big compliment, especially coming from someone like you, Jay.
Bridget, one of the things that I've always admired about you is I feel that you're much more intelligent than I am.
But Jay, sometimes I don't know if it's difficult to say.
I don't know, Jay. Jay, I know what's in my head, so that
at least speaking about the history,
You don't get all of this with that too, right? Come on.
You cannot be beautiful and intelligent at the same time, Jay. As a girl you can, but as a man in general, not.
When I met Bridget, I just felt like she was analyzing everything, and she's like, I got this. I'm going to figure this out.
I think, you know what? As a young agent, I am, and with my personality, I definitely am analyzing a lot. But I do think that I have some self-doubt personally, but I don't let that show. I think you have to you got to fake it till you make it, right? You have to have the confidence, and you have to trust yourself, trust your training, trust your knowledge.
Yeah. One of the things I think I admired also about you at a young Bridget age of real estate.
I'm 25, guys.
It's 25. So she think about that. She started this when she was 20 years old.
She could be your grandkid, Jay.
It's close to being like my older daughter.
I was in the middle of college, and I said, I got to try it for 6 months. If I can sell a deal, I will continue it.
Thank God. I always say, Bridget, thank God for Botox and hair dye. But Bridget, 20 years old, 5 years now in the business. You started 20, 5 years in the business. You're like a sponge. A sponge.
Definitely.
Yes. I always thought about that. That was like a. I say that in the most respectful way.
You have to be a student of the business. The real estate world is constantly changing. You have to be able to adapt. You have to be a sponge.
It's 5 years, right, in the business?
It's 5.5.
5.5.
Who's counting?
That's okay. That's okay. It's always. I think it's very interesting to have someone like a newbie. Like I would consider 5 years is still.
It's Bridget, not a newbie, but it was me newbie.
I received I received a lot of advice during my first few years as a real estate agent, and I still do. Yeah. And someone told me that once you hit year 5, you definitely start to see a transition in your business. Okay. And I joined in January 5 years ago. So come January 1st, I immediately started seeing a lot more referrals come my way. I did see that transition in my business. So I would say that if you're in the business and you're kind of feeling like you're pushing through those first couple of years, try to make it to year 5. It really changes on you.
It's a great tip.
Huge. And
we call it Golden Nuggets of Knowledge by Bridget
I can't
right
take
now.
credit for that.
It's very insightful because you've got, like, one of the things I know about this industry is when COVID hit, the industry took off, and a lot of young agents jumped on board.
Completely.
So there's a lot of people out there right now that when the industry changed a little bit, now they're like, hold on a second. They're not handing out deals on the street.
Completely. So I think anyone who joined during the pandemic and after that needs to realize that you joined the market in an irregular time. We're coming back to a regular market. You should try and stick it out, because if you can stick it out during this time, you will continue to see a growth in your business. But it's hard work. There's no job out there that's easy. Hey, if they called fishing would be called catching if it was easy, right?
Well, something that in the business environment, we talk about the resilience, right? Resilience to be doing things. But I will ask you a polemic question right now, an edgy question. When resilience become dumb?
I think, you know what, that's a really That's a really good question. I think.
Wait, hold on a second. Why do you always get the good questions? And I always, no one ever compliments.
You are beautiful and ugly, so I'm smart.
No one ever says that's a great question when I ask.
What I didn't get in beauty, I get in.
I think it's he blindsides you with a good question.
He does. Do you have like notes here or something? Are you Googling good questions?
He's being fed notes on his phone
Googling
right
good
now.
questions.
The only thing I'm asking ChatGPT right now, what would be the best questions to ask Bridget O'Donnell right now?
I get nothing.
So guys,
When
sometimes
does
like
resilience
when resilience
futile?
becomes dumb, you know?
I think it's futile, right? I think when you've really exhausted all of your resources, I mean really exhausted. The industry is hard work. You have to be willing to do the things that other people don't want to do. You have to call people. You have to reach out to people. You have to put in the sweat equity. That's what I would say is once you've exhausted all of your efforts, if you've done it and there's nothing and you're scraping the bottom of the barrel, the true bottom of the barrel, then you should maybe look out and see if you could join somebody else. If you want to stay in the industry, join a team. Find out who else you really like and admire out there in the industry and join them. Learn from how are they doing business and why are you not?
So, like, from a young agent perspective, like, you just don't spin like 2 plates, and then when they break, you give up?
You need to pull yourself up by the bootstraps, and that's why I'm saying sometimes you need to shift your perspective. So I don't think that there's ever a necessary way. I mean, look, this business is not for everybody. It's just the fact of the matter. But if you really believe in it, if you really believe in yourself, you need to be willing to shift your perspective. You need to be willing to put yourself in a position where you're saying, I can't do this by myself sometimes. I need to learn. I need to get a partner. I need to join a team. I need to change a brokerage.
Jay, good question now, so please.
I got one too.
Go ahead, Jay. Go ahead.
Mine, so hold on a second. So this is really interesting. And I don't want to deter people from getting into the real estate industry, but I do want to ask the question too. There's people out there right now that want to get into our industry.
Yeah.
Tell those people why they shouldn't if they don't have X.
I think if you are not willing to treat this like a 9 to 9, not a 9 to 5, a 9 to 9, you should not get in the industry.
I love that. So you can't be a bartender and do this deal?
You absolutely can, but I think that then you need to understand that it's going to take you a longer time to do a turnaround. And who says that you can't do both? I know so many agents out there who have another job, and that job feeds this job.
Okay, talk about that.
So we have a few different people that work for us that one of them is a flight attendant. I'm going to give a shout out to Emily Snellgrove here.
Emily who?
Snellgrove. So Emily is a flight attendant, and she has said it herself that when she's doing more flights, she's getting more business.
Okay.
Let that be your lead source.
How does she stay authentic to real estate and also do something else?
She has her boyfriend is also a real estate agent with us. But that's also where the term of a partnership comes in.
Okay.
I have a partner, and look, she does some deals, but Emily does some deals by herself, and her boyfriend does some deals by himself. And even if she didn't have her boyfriend, she knows that she has other people within our brokerage, and even outside of it, if she really wanted to, that she could call and say, hey, I've got someone who needs to see a property today. It's better to make 50% of something than nothing.
Don't be greedy.
Don't be greedy.
You know, there's a phrase in real estate, Goose. I'm going to teach you something there, buddy. You don't have to Google this. Pigs get fat.
He don't want me to come with smart questions.
I'm looking over. I'm cheating right now. I'm looking over.
Bridget, question for you.
Sure.
So you just mentioned that real estate is not for everyone or for everybody. Who would be not this people that is not necessarily qualified for real estate?
If you don't like people, don't get in real estate. Or at least not real estate sales, I would say. There's definitely other real estate adjacent or sales adjacent jobs that are out there. And I think like you could be the admin for a team. You could work in advertising and marketing, and you could really work on the back end of things. But if you don't like people, you're a customer facing job every day.
Bridget, there's one defining question that we love to end this with, and it's about, we're talking about Cinco de Mayo, and we're talking about overcoming adversity.
Bridget,
right?
you know what Cinco de Mayo means?
I do know what Cinco de Mayo means. I can read and write Spanish. Unfortunately, I cannot, so I refer any Spanish speakers out.
Puebla.
The village of Puebla.
So check it out, Bridget. So one of the things that we'd love to know is if you had to give a shout out to somebody it could be in your life, it could be in your immediate life, your past life, who's somebody that was really kind of an influential person in your life to really kind of motivate you?
And don't come with generic, all my clients, because a lot of people say, oh, my client.
Can I give two people?
Yes, okay.
Okay, so unfortunately, at the very beginning of the pandemic, my father passed away, not due to COVID-related issues. He had just gotten his license, and we were about to really take off. And shortly thereafter, I met my current partner, David Martyr. And you know what? It's really the person that I needed in my life. And I don't want to make his ego too big or anything here, but he really completes my business, and he is what helped me go to the next level. P.S. myself.
David, what's his last name again?
Martyr, M-A-R-D-E-R.
So
and I manage Martyr Group.
David, if you're listening, you got a big fan here, and also a great asset to you as well too. So that's amazing. But you have your father was the first,
and you have to appreciate this girl here.
Of course, my father was the first, and it just, you know what? It was. I gotta say, my dad must have been a guardian angel or something, because shortly after he passed, David slid into my Instagram DMs and said, I don't know how else to reach out to you other than to say, hi, my name is David Martyr. I really want to work with you. So
Awesome. That's amazing. That's cool. That's amazing.
That's cool.
Good backbone, good partner in life, right? Yeah. That's an amazing time. That's amazing.
And final question, we still need to do this. What was the turning point? What was the moment of success of your, the Battle of Puebla is like this turning point, is the David versus Goliath, right? When you overcome this overwhelming power. Tell me when it was for you.
So I think that there's been a few of those, and I think most agents should have several of them. But I think for me, what really was like an okay, I can do this. I really can do this, and I can be good at it. I was 6 months in, and I had one rental. And my whole thing was, I got to make a sale by 6 months. Otherwise, that's going to be it for me. And I made $1 million sale. I had somebody come in, and I kept chasing after them. Follow up is key, and I kept making sure I stayed posted with them. And I sold them $1 million condo, which doesn't happen usually in your first year of real estate, let alone as a 20-year-old.
Does not.
So
that's a lot of money for a 20-year-old.
That is a lot of money for a 20-year-old. That's a lot of money now for a lot of people.
My first deal I closed was like a $600,000 deal, and it was literally on like day 364. So I understand what you're talking about. It takes a long time sometimes. Now in this real estate industry, some people are popping these deals very quick, and I say with caution, that they think that this real estate industry is easy when they first do this, but it takes time.
Everyone always posts the best parts of their life on social media. Don't compare yourself to
We don't do that on the real stuff. We only do real things, no fluff, no BS. Thank you so much, Bridge. I really appreciate
Real Stuff show with Bridget O'Donnell. Bridget, how can you find you? How can you find you?
My Instagram is Bridget Realty, and you can find me on all social medias with that same tagline, BRIDGET, Realty, like a real estate company. And feel free to give me a call if you guys have any questions about real estate or the Fort Lauderdale area.
Thank you, Bridget. We are receiving now GianPierre G.
GianPierre.
Music and everything.
But before we start GianPierre, a shout out of the sponsor, Jay.
Listen, nothing gets done without support around here, and the Captain Painters has been the backbone of the Real Stuff podcast from the very beginning. We could not fund, we could not produce, we could not make these real estate agents look amazing without the Real Stuff and without the Captain Painters standing behind us. So if you're looking for a quality painting company here in Fort Lauderdale, I suggest calling them.
TheCaptainPainter.com.
Let me get the number, man. I need to get a pay job now.
This is the guy right here.
You know?
Jean-Pierre, man. Thank you for coming.
Where do I start with this guy? Where do I start?
So put the microphone very close to you, okay?
How's that?
That's great.
Make love to the microphone.
I have a little talent in that.
Well, don't drink so much with a
Man.
Some people really want to make love with a microphone. Jay is one of them. Jay is always like
Jay's a romantic, man.
You gotta sanitize this thing after I'm done.
For sure. Principally Jay's microphone.
So I've got history with this good-looking guy in front of me here.
Yes. So GianPierre Giusti, what's G stand for? What is your last name? G is
Giusti. Very Italian.
Italian.
Think like orange juice and iced tea.
Giusti.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. You know, my grandfather was Italian, and I have the Italian citizenship as Alagia, you know.
Oh, wow. That's
From
awesome, man. Well, congratulations.
We are the best. We are the best guys, you know.
One of the things about my buddy here, Jean-Pierre, is that he is a legacy. Now, most people might not know what that means, but that is somebody that has a lineage in real estate. And Jean-Pierre probably has one of the strongest family lineages here in Fort Lauderdale real estate. And I think this is really an interesting story. I'd love to give us a little backstory about your family, kind of how it's sort of developed into, and really kind of how you reinvented yourself from what they created.
Well, funny enough, you know, I didn't know this until after I was in real estate, but my grandfather in South America was a developer.
Oh,
and my mother, at like 16 years old, was a sales rep for his pre-construction single-family homes.
Insane.
So,
and when you say South America, where in South America?
In Lima, Peru.
In Peru.
Where the ceviche comes from.
Shout out for the Peruvian people here.
Ceviche and empanadas.
Yes.
Oh yeah, and pisco sour, baby. so a little funny story there is my mother established a luxury presence in real estate in this town.
Yeah.
I saw that from the sidelines and thought that'd be a good career. Got involved. Eventually, my sister got involved. And although we kind of all play a different role, it's like the Holy Trinity, you know? We all back and bounce off each other. So my sister does a lot of pre-construction development. She works with Douglas Elliman, represents some of the biggest brand names in town. She sold the Four Seasons, Celine.
It's big.
Gonna be doing a big project coming up on Las Olas. You know, put it this way, it's gonna have a luxury brand attached to it. Think like the Porsche Tower, Armani. You know,
that's cool.
It's gonna be one of those, but right in our playground.
Okay.
And then my mother, man, what can I say? She's in my perspective, the queen of real estate. You know, I mean,
love that.
Lots in the deals.
Amazing.
And then what can you say from the protege, baby? Come on. I mean, right now, as a matter of fact, last night we were awarded the #1 team in the state by a brand that's not just national but also international.
It's amazing.
So international play.
What's up?
That's cool, man. That's cool.
Yeah, #1 in the state.
So, you know, what I think is really dynamically interesting about your kind of your family history is you guys aren't all, even though you call yourself a team, you represent the same last names.
That's right.
But you're all kind of fragmented into different areas of real estate, and in some weird way, competitors.
Yeah. No, not weird. Let's put it out transparency.
I mean, the gloves are off.
But we found ways to work around it. You have
That's
to
what I want to
understand.
know about.
Working with family can be easy or can be challenging, but I think most would agree it's challenging because you grew up in a household where there was one boss, you know?
Yes.
And the older sibling was the second boss, right? But when we're in business, everybody wants to be the boss.
Yeah.
So
I think your sister puts you in place sometimes too, doesn't she?
Oh, listen, I grew up around very strong character women.
Yeah.
Very strong.
He's got very powerful women around him.
I would like to circle back with a question about this because, you know, when you have this legacy family, you know, you question yourself. Is this the right business I would like to do for myself? You know, do I want to be in the shadow of my parents and stuff? It never happened to you to question if it was the right direction to go in your life?
You know, as far as what the general mass perceives, no, it never was a question. I thought it was a one-up, 1 foot in the door by being able to say, I'm part of this family.
Okay.
Because at that time, I would say I'm Maritza's son, you know? Now they say that's GianPierre's mom, you know?
and that's strong, because that's a great piggyback to your question, which is you defining your own identity.
Yeah. Yeah,
because you don't want to live in a shadow, do you?
You don't. Now, I'll tell you this, though. For me, the challenge wasn't in the exterior. It was more in the interior, right? Mm-hmm. I found out that my talent was brokering, selling, or educating, I guess, if you want to put it in a different word. And I really did this in very different businesses. And I left real estate just to see what else was out there. But I realized it's a passion. It's in my blood, and you feel really at home. I really enjoy doing it. I don't consider it work. So when I came back to it, my mother and sister were working together in 2011, and I created an opportunity where we can all kind of grow. I said, why don't we form a team? And, you know, I'll do what I'm best at, which is hit the ground, do the sales. Gee, you can focus on this. Mom, you can focus on that. My mother had a catalog of relationships she had built over time. So we all kind of brought a value to the table. The challenge was always realizing who brings what and what are they best at. And when we figured that out, we were unstoppable, you know? My sister likes more of an employee relationship, right? She's a single mom at that time, and kind of getting her bearings. So for her, having a set schedule, like a pre-construction environment, was amazing. My mother started doing pre-construction. So what I did is I took every relationship from a pre-construction market and turned them into resales and opportunities to meet their friends and their families and build those networks. Now, my mother still sold a little pre-construction, but she's focused mainly in the buildings that she sold before they were existent or tangible, right? When they were
so
still
she went after the past sphere of the relationship that she managed.
Absolutely. I mean,
you took the resale side of that, and G kind of like filled the middle gap, which is like the newer stuff coming.
Correct.
Almost like new relationships.
That's right. And considering that my sister went with a different brokerage, it's still amazing, because when she gets all these projects, the people who bring the most buyers to these projects are my mother and I. You know, it's because we get early education, we understand the product, and we're able to pitch it faster. Yeah. Right? Now, with all that said, you know,
there's a story here coming. I see the smile. I see the smile.
Look, I'll tell you this. We found a phenomenal way to work with each other, but I've been able to excel in what I love doing. Good. You know, my mother does what she loves. She lives where she plays. You know, she lives the lifestyle that she sells. Yeah. And so she's in a very great environment, and she sold that building pre-construction. And I do everything from there to the other end of Las Olas, you know? Cool. So we focus an inch wide, but we're a mile deep. You know, we go deep in that game. So in that specific market, we feel like we're the strongest.
Do you find your life was like an easy life because of your story?
Question.
And because of your family?
Good question. Because most people, let me, before you answer that, because I'm going to segue that. I'm going to fill that in, because most people, because it's a great question. Yes. And most people, even me, would look at you and say, this guy's got it made. He has a mom that like was untouchable, and his sister is like off to stardom, and
he is a mama boy.
You know, how can he fail?
You know, that question is like when I see, you know, people out and they're like, so what are you doing? Are you doing steroids or something? I'm like, no, I just put in the work for years, you know, and I built myself up.
I like that.
Same with real estate. You have to understand my biggest wall and my biggest accolade or challenge to conquer was working with my mother, because she was good, and the people that worked around her, she was very tough with. But with me, I got the toughest love out of all of them because I'm the son. So I'm supposed to be better than all of them, right? Now I'm going to give you a little story that's going to hurt to be so vulnerable.
I like
but this is my brother right
That's
here.
right. That's
so
right. I want real. I want real.
Time to open the doors.
I want real.
Okay? There was a time where I would say, you know, in this business, if you don't know how to run your cash flow, sometimes the chips are up, sometimes the chips are down, right?
Yes.
And we live in a commission-based world, so if you don't manage your money right, it can run out easy. I was in a tight situation. I was pretty strapped, and the last thing I would ever think of is asking a parent for help, you know? But when I say, you know, I was underground and trying to breathe above water, I was literally, you know,
Trying
to
to
give you a
survive.
metaphor,
Yeah.
I was holding a straw underwater, breathing like that, right?
Wow.
Yes.
So I went to see my mother because I needed $2,000 for a startup, right? And this is very early on. And when I went to see her, she said, "How old are you?" You know, and mind you, it hurt to ask. I'm like, "I'm 29." She goes, "Okay." Well, when I was 40 years old, I got divorced. And I was a single mother with 2 kids, didn't speak English very well. You know, we came from a different country. And she goes, I was able to build myself up, sell real estate, and get to where I am today. Do you have kids? No. Did you just go through a divorce? No. How's your English? Perfect. So why are you here?
Wow.
That lesson,
Wow.
and that lessons like these lessons
That's the moment.
were the best for me. So unlike being in a shadow, it was more about work hard and do it yourself.
Yeah.
And that come back to perspective. We have here, and we discussed a little bit perspective about this, right? When you put things in perspective and see, oh, now I get it. You know, I have this strength that I can take advantage and focus and get the results. For the Cinco de Mayo, the Battle of the Puebla, we ask our guests to
Do you have the same adversity like working with me? Do you have a deep story like that as well? A struggle?
Probably
would like
yes.
you to share?
Probably yes.
I got
Because
stories about Jay
you're so
too, by the way.
beautiful with so much hair.
So
that's difficult to be your side.
Let me just tap into what my boy just said, which I think was interesting. You know, a lot of people that have sat there with us today and shared their stories found inspiration from adversity, and I think that's really interesting because. You know, I think there's 2 ways that you can be inspired in life, right? The one is through pain and one is through pleasure. Not a lot of people sat here and told us that was a pleasurable moment. Hey, Jay, I got into this deal and I sold a $20 million property my first year, and it was I was like, Jesus, this is easy, right? So, I think it's vulnerable that you're sharing that, which I do. I realize that, and I think that is I think that's something that we need to acknowledge, is that a lot of people that do what we do find this passion for what we do through a tough time in life, and
Absolutely.
So it's not easy.
Struggle builds character.
Yeah.
You know, I'll tell you this. Real estate can be easy when we're in a wave of fun, right? Like post-pandemic market.
Right.
What a wave. I was the biggest surfer on that, you know?
How many new agents are trying to take your business right now and think this is the easiest thing ever?
They might think. It's funny enough, I told this story yesterday, but throughout my life, a lot of my friends and peers saw the way I work, and they're like, I'm going to get my real estate license.
Of course.
I got it made.
Why not?
And I've seen them all. I mean, I'm talking a lot of people I knew get the real estate license and then end up, bartending or serving or doing this or that. You can get the real estate license. You can put in the work. We all work differently. And when you don't have a boss or somebody breathing down your shoulder, you are your boss. So if you want to get comfortable, you made a good deal, you made a big commission. We all made the mistake. Hey, listen, my first deal that I made big, I went to Vegas for that weekend. I learned through mistakes, but I enjoyed it, man, and I wouldn't change it if I had to do it over.
GianPierre seems like a guy that I know that, like, when you find success in your life, he knows how to enjoy it.
But have no kids, right?
Yeah.
No, he doesn't.
You better believe I'm a papa.
Yes, he's a daddy now. He's a daddy now. Hey, listen, don't let the 3-button fool you right here. This guy knows how to enjoy things.
My question is probably not going to go to Las Vegas next time you make that.
No, now we're on Europe trips. Now we're chasing the climate.
Is there a Disney experience in Vegas yet? I don't know.
No, we go to Disney. We're going to try to go to Japan. No, but I'll tell you this, man. Becoming a father is the most rewarding experience I've ever had.
True that.
And to top it off, it's a job, but it pays with love, and there's no kind of price for that. You know?
Is the first one? Yeah,
first one.
Okay.
First one. And my buddy here can relate. You know, that's soccer dad. That's how I look up to this guy for that. You know, and I'll tell you, they make you work harder. They make you more creative. They make you see even a bigger picture, you know?
They make you become better, right?
Better.
And chase a better life. And,
Absolutely.
That's amazing. You know, sometimes when I have 2 daughters, and now I'm waiting for a boy.
Congratulations.
Yeah, man. And then, oh my gosh, that's pretty cool when you come back home, right? And seeing the look in their eyes. It's something that's inspiring for sure.
I'm gonna tell you. I put them in a Montessori school, right?
Yes. I love that.
Oh, man.
My kids grew up in Montessori as well.
Did they?
Yes.
I gotta tell you, he's gonna be a faster, better, smarter, quicker version of me. But I see, I dropped him off. I remember the first day, and I had the cleaning lady come. So I come out of the room having some coffee. The house is all neat. It's quiet. It's what everybody would want. But I was like, man, I don't know. I kind of miss the mess. I miss the screams. I miss the little hands all over the car. And you grow this excitement for it, even when it's the hard time. Like, please go to sleep. Even with that, you're having fun. You know?
So how many do you want, GianPierre? How many? Yes.
Oh, I'm on Bob Marley status, man. I'll do as many as I can get before I go.
I have the same, 3, probably a 4.
Oh, man.
I not the 4th, right?
Listen, I'm going to tell you something.
It's cool.
My grandma is almost 90 years old, okay?
Yeah.
She never ate a strict diet, never did a certain kind of workout. She's the healthiest, most sound person I know. And what I think is her fountain of youth. And grandkids were 16, and great-grandkids, they're up to 20, I think now, and having so much youth around her, and all of them calling her what I called her when I was a toddler, Mami Charito, Mami. I think that is a real fountain of youth.
That's awesome.
So, yeah.
What I love about your story is that you're taking something from history, grandmother foundation, mother foundation, even tapping into your sister who's really your youth. And even your story, which is coming from an immigrant status, and now you're a father, kind of leading a new thing. As dads, the things that you're learning through your life right now, you're going to bestow upon these kids. Yes. And that's very powerful.
Absolutely, man. You're a teacher. We are teachers.
There's something that I'm always thinking about is what I need to do for my kids to be proud of me. So that's something that's even about the English level, because I'm an immigrant. I came to the United States 7 years ago, and didn't speak English before.
Oh, you're doing very well, man.
I'm trying.
I'd do anything to have an accent.
Yeah.
I think I'd be that much hotter if I had one. If I had a little bit of a twang to my voice.
It's something that
but this guy right now.
Oh, I'd be dangerous. I'd be dangerous.
If I was your son, I'd be proud. Immigrant, own your own business, doing a podcast to talk about it. You got the kids at home.
But that's something that worries me about, So something that I say, oh my gosh, I need to know how to speak English to teach them, So it's something very important for me to, to be someone for them to look up for,
Yeah, right. That's very important.
That's something that's extremely important.
I think you're on the right path, my friend. Just from seeing what you're doing here.
GianPierre, so you've had a lot of influential people in your life. I'm gonna stump you a little bit. Let's take mom out of the equation.
Let's take them out.
So who in your life would you like to give a shout out to? It could be something that a person you follow. It could be a mentor. Who in your life has really helped you shape who you are outside of the family? Because everybody's going to give you the naysayer, the legacy guy.
Now it's the time to send this love message for someone.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you this. I've met through real estate, okay, some people that start out as customers, become friends, but you meet a lot of, at least I'm in a luxury market, I have an opportunity to meet a lot of self-made individuals. And I've met one or two that their conversations have impacted the way I perceive life. And it's because I look at people like this that are happily married, have a great family. I mean, kids that are grown, but very sound, very, very good kids, full-hearted. And they're very successful, but they never look like they're working, you know? They look like they're just living the true experience of life. And I look at all of that and I say, those are goals for me, you know? So I become friends with some of these individuals, and through these relationships, I would say I've made mentors. So think about how lucky we are. We're in a business where you can make a tremendous amount of money. You can make unbelievable friendships. You can learn something new every day. I'm not really working. I'm learning, man. I'm still the student in this, you know? We're just blessed to be in a business to learn. And that's where I would give a lot of the love to
your clients.
Yeah, some of the ones that have helped me see the game.
Which is kind of interesting because you know you're in an industry where you really are servicing for them, relying on you.
And
but they're paying you back with the stuff that they do, which is brilliant.
Which is why a long time ago I stopped thinking about what the deal will make me. I started thinking about how can I help them.
Or just finding people that are really cool people to work with.
Right, right. Oh, that's another beauty. We get to be selective in this business.
Right, we don't have to work with everybody.
Yeah. You know, a lot of people don't know this, but I used to hit the night scene up pretty heavily.
No, you?
Yeah.
Come on.
And you know who'd be the guy over there sometimes at the door making his way?
Who?
My man right here.
Yeah, that was a young...
Those are some days.
It was a me with more hair.
With darker hair.
Listen, GianPierre, we really love the fact that you joined us today. I really appreciate you.
Absolutely, man.
Shout out to your family and doing some amazing things over a very long period of time. You have paved the way for a lot of real estate agents to look up to, and we really appreciate you jumping with us.
Yeah, absolutely, man. We'll do this.
Be a guest with us any other time.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Come back here and get a selfie with us.
Yeah, before you grab that selfie, please, how can you find you? Tell us how in Instagram, how can you find you? If you want to buy a luxury home.
If you want to buy a luxury home, if you're a pretty girl looking for a good guy, you know, if you want to have babies, you can find me GianPierre. You Google GianPierre Giusti, you'll find me, or at GPierre213.
Awesome. Shout out to G and Maritza.
That's cool, man.
Shout out to Gigi, Maritza, and Gino, and Gianni.
And John. The family, baby. The family.
Oh, yeah.
The new legacies.
New legacy. Selfie time.
Come here, baby. Come here.
The real stuff show. Special Cinco de Mayo.
This is it. I think this is it. I think this is the close.
Okay, guys. So we have the real stuff show. The real stuff show. It's very simple to find us. For the real stuff show, search on YouTube, and soon you're gonna have podcasts in all podcast platforms.
What day can you find us, Augusto?
Sorry? Every Thursday we go online, live 4 p.m.
Thursday. Remember, if you're going to be a guest of the real stuff, we don't want fluff. We want BS. We want real stories about the real estate industry and how it's impacting you, me, and everybody else out there.
So for sure, like education, the real thing of things, the behind the scenes. And this is what you find on the Real Stuff Show. From Realtors, and the guy here that's not a realtor, by Realtors to Realtors, you know?
Just a Vanilla J.
And always with Vanilla News by Jay.
All right, peace out. Love everybody. Thanks for tuning in, and we really appreciate
a shout out to City Furniture.
And the real top producers. Heather Kaminsky. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Appreciate you. Happy Cinco de Mayo.
Thank you, guys.